All right, we're back, True Seeker. We are going to discuss the Week 1 NFL games, Sunday and Monday. And if you were watching the Patreon wall yesterday, I did post this last evening, Friday, September 6th. Some people needed the picks in early because they got to get them into their guy or their lady by Friday evening. So we put some out there. I see the trolls here, so I'm just gonna delete the troll. We don't support the troll. Adios. But anyway, that information's there. We're gonna review those thoughts, and I'm gonna take your calls on each game in case somebody has a different opinion or maybe something I overlooked. Just before we get into it, Colorado rallied and beat Nebraska. Epic comeback. Woo! Clemson beat Texas A&M but did not cover. Alabama went for 62. Let's see. Just scanning the games already played. Alrighty. So let's look at the NFL. Remember, Packers beat the Bears opening night to start the season. And it was quite the ritual. It was 103 days from the death of Bart Starr, and you get a 10-3 ball game. Caller?
Hey, what's going on, Zach?
What's up, man?
Hey, I was looking at this, the Tigers and A's game, and I noticed that it starts at 6:07. So if you do the Eastern time, it's 9:07, which is a reflection of 79.
Or 97. Oakland Athletics is 97. Athletics is 97. 25th prime number. Yeah.
I just wanted to call in. Little quick observation.
All right. Appreciate it, man. Good eyes. Yeah, those start times can be crucial. Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, welcome.
Right,
oh, didn't mean to hang up on you, man, but good eyes. So, again, just in case somehow you missed what we covered about the opening game, span of 103 days from the death of Bart Starr, you get a 10-3 score. The first ever NFL game played was on October 3rd, 10-3. And keep in mind, Bart Starr was the MVP of Super Bowl I, where the Packers beat the Chiefs. They ran a State Farm commercial for the opening night game with Rodgers and Patrick Mahomes. And State Farm, just using the alphabetic order. Is the Gematria down? If the calculator ever does this, like if you ever go there and it doesn't load, sometimes you just got to keep refreshing it until it does. Sometimes it does that. But that commercial with Mahomes and Rodgers was for State Farm 103. And remember, this is Rodgers' 15th season. Patrick Mahomes wears the number 15. Bart Starr once wore the number 15. And the Roman numerals for Super Bowl, I can't think what it is right now, but Super Bowl, whatever Roman numerals, equals 150. So does Green Bay Packers. That opening night game was 150 days before the Super Bowl. 1-5, again, 15 at the front of that number. So, that could be the clue. And we talked about how the Packers and Chiefs will play each other October 27th, which will be a span of 99 days before the Super Bowl. Not quite 100. But remember, this season is 99 years after the first season, so 99 is relevant. The first season was in 1920. The first ever game was played October 3rd, 1920. 99 years ago. So, that said, I'm going to scroll through this post, and ultimately, out of all my notes for the Titans and Browns game, I like the Browns tomorrow because of Baker Mayfield. It's a QB-driven league. I feel like the best riddle on the board is with Baker Mayfield. He can become 7-7 for his young career. Baker Mayfield equals 77. The Browns have not won an opening day game for 14 years. They've lost 13 in a row, and last year they had the tie with the Steelers. So 14 years without an opening day win. There's a part of me that thinks, man, they could still lose 14 straight if you throw out the tie, but I think that 14 years of not winning on opening day is the streak. You know, it's been a new ball game for Cleveland ever since they got Baker Mayfield. I like him improving to 7-7. Jim Brown this year is 83 years old. Football's 83. The week 1 game's exactly 29 weeks after his 83rd birthday. Football is 83 and 29. Cleveland Browns is also 83. Ohio's 29. So I feel like that's a magical alignment too. It's just like last year when the Browns ended their losing streak. They did it 216 days after Jim Brown's birthday. Cleveland's the 216 area code. And I believe that was against the Ravens. I know it was a primetime game. It's where they subbed in Baker Mayfield. And he got 47 yards passing going into halftime. Ohio's 47. It's also a date with 36 numerology here. The Browns are going for their 36th win in the regular season. Consider 216. There's a relationship with 36, 216, and 666. 666 is the 36th triangular number. 6 times 6 times 6 is 216. So it's a little bit mathematical, but it's there. It's also the 33rd game between these teams. Cleveland is 33. Tennessee's 137, the 33rd prime. But the date numerology is there for the Browns. Baker Mayfield getting to 7-7 is there. And the little Jim Brown riddle's there too. Keep in mind, Tennessee Titans are one of 5 teams in the NFL with a 54 gematria. Again, those teams are the Titans, the Jets, the Bills, the Saints, the Redskins. Those are your teams with the 54 connections. Very probable that at least one of those teams is in the Super Bowl, perhaps playing a team with a 100 connection. So I'm gonna go to the chat. If you guys haven't been here when I decode football, I interact with the chat on each game. I just get the feedback from the chat. One other thing I want to say before I go to the chat is if Mayfield won this week and lost next week, he'd be 7-8. Cleveland 78. So is New York. He plays the Jets next week. So I have to do some more analysis on that, but I could see a little riddle there. The Browns are opening their season against 2 of the 54 teams in the league, the Titans and the Jets. Make sure there wasn't anything else I wanted to say. I guess I'll throw out the devil's advocate narrative, just so you see all sides of the coin. I do favor the Browns. The narrative for the Titans is through Mariota. Mariota could become 28-28 in the regular season. Browns is 28 in the most pure cipher. Mariota could also pick up his 29th regular season loss, though. Ohio's 29, football's 29, and the date numerology is 29. So the one narrative for Mariota is to be 28-28 in the regular season versus the Browns. It's not out of the question, but I do prefer Mayfield at 7-7. By the way, the game's 283 days after Freddie Kitchens' birthday. The new Browns coach, 283 is the 61st prime. Ohio 61. Cleveland Browns is also 61. It's 147 days after Mayfield's birthday. Special number is 147. It's not arbitrary that from week 1 Sunday to Super Bowl Sunday is 147 days. It's the master builder connection. If you write out master builder as a word, it equals 147. Freemasons 147. The master builder number is 22 men on the field. So, caller?
Hey Zach, it's Ryan. I have the blog Lighting Up the Script, and I'm an admin for Rich's page, Daily Dose of Gematria.
Very cool.
I got a pretty cool connection here. First of all, a couple connections, I guess. Green Bay equals 540 in the Jewish cipher.
So kind of like 54? Nice.
Yep. And I was looking at the Bengals-Seahawks game, and I used ProFootballReference.com, and that shows Andy Dalton has notes as 67 is what you had.
Well, I'm guessing that one of those wins is where maybe he played in the game but didn't start. Let me because
Pro Football Reference does have him starting in all of his career games.
All right, hold on. Let me check it out here. Andy Dalton. Yeah. I prefer this site, Football Database. Let me see.
Okay.
Let me just see let me make sure I didn't make a typo here. They have Dalton on 67 career wins and 54 career losses and 2 ties. Is what. Okay. But I'm sure you're right about what Pro Football Reference has. So let's it might be hard to figure out the discrepancy, but I know that Pro Football Reference will factor in a game if the player plays in the game but doesn't start.
Right. Yeah, I've seen that before too. Okay. But if he is on 68, like Pro Football Reference says, he can get his 69th career win 314 days after his birthday, and pi equals 69.
It does?
In Jewish.
Oh, in Jewish.
Gematria.
Okay. Well, that is interesting. Seattle, Washington, 68. Okay. Okay.
And one more tidbit, if I may. This game will be 3 years, 10 months, and 4 weeks after the Bengals-Seahawks last met in a head-to-head game. So you got the pie there, 3 years, 10 months, 4 weeks.
Okay.
But even more interesting, Dalton's stats in that last game against Seattle. Dalton, he threw for 30 completions on 44 attempts, so he went 30 for 44 season record, and this is according to Pro Football Reference still. It says they enter regular season 344 wins and 331 losses and a tie, but his completions go right with their regular season wins, and his yards passing goes right with their regular season losses.
Huh. Very interesting. Yeah, great observations. Hey, friend, do me a favor. From now on, if you want to call in about games, though, make sure you call in on the game that I'm talking about. Otherwise, we'll just be all over the place all night. So, awesome work, but just in the future, just wait till I get to that game if you can.
Yes, I can do that, Zach. Thanks for everything you do, and I'll be looking to follow along tonight. All
right, yeah, great work. I agree the Bengals do have a narrative in that game, so good work.
I like them with the Vegas spread. 9.5, I'm taking that all day.
Sure, could be a lot closer. All right, yeah, good work, man.
Okay, yeah, have a good night, Zach.
All right, yeah, take care. Okay. All right, so Titans at Browns. I'm favoring the Browns mostly for Baker Mayfield to get to 7-7. And let's see. I'm going to the chat. Let's see what the chat's thinking here. Packer equals 54 in the singular. Interesting. Orioles are down in the hole, huh? Shoot. All right, let's see. Okay, looks like nobody has a lot of thoughts. You guys are talking about everything but the game. All right, let's go to the next one then. The Ravens at the Dolphins. So I believe the over/under has moved on this game. Let's see. I guess we can analyze the lines too. Over/unders at 45 here. You know, both Tennessee and Ohio have a connection to 47. Something maybe to think about with the over/under at 45. Cleveland a 5.5-point favorite. Cleveland's got that. Let's see. Caller?
Yeah, Zach, Red was right, Zach.
That the girl beat Serena?
Yeah, Andreescu ended up winning the U.S. Open, and Serena was the bridesmaid.
Bridesmaid, yeah. He was all over that.
Check this. To start the U.S. Open, got escorted to the court, and they were holding bouquets. Once I saw that, I knew it was over.
Sure. Yeah, perfect. Bridesmaid, he nailed it.
Yeah, so I just wanted to let you know that. But good. Thank you again for doing the baseball earlier. I know it kind of took you out of your way, but I feel like it's worth it.
Yeah. All right, man. No problem.
All right.
All right. See you. Okay. So the Ravens at the Dolphins, the line has moved to above 38. It was at 38. Now it's at 40. And again, both teams do have a connection to 38. Ravens is 38. Dolphins is 38. Florida's 38, where the game's at. Baltimore's a 6.5 point favorite. What stands out to me is in the regular season, if the Dolphins lose, they will fall to 5-4. And I see a nice 54 tribute in that. It's the 251st day of the year, the 54th prime number. The year of Super Bowl 54. And remember, it's the 100th NFL season in the most pure cipher, the alphabetic order with the rules of numerology. If you write out 100, it equals 54. And maybe we really should be thinking about another riddle with the World Series and the Super Bowl, because we identified it in July last year, how it could end in Game 5 and be 99 days from the Super Bowl to conclude the 99th season, and Boston could win both of them. But you see how 100 is 108, 162, 54, 45? Notice baseball is 54 and 162 as well. Baseball, 54, 162, 162 games in the season. Major League Baseball is also 162. And then Major League's 108, like 108 double stitches on a baseball. Major League's also 45. So, again, they love to connect the sports. And I'm sure there's something there. I'll keep my mind marinating on it, but just throw that one out there. Okay. So, what happened here? Oh, I was scrolling up. Here's what I did. Okay. So, anyway, the Dolphins falling to 5-4 makes a lot of sense to me. The Dolphins are 5-5 versus the Ravens at home all time, including the playoffs. They could fall to 5-6 at home on a 56-date numerology. You could also make the argument for the Ravens, though, on that one. They could fall to 5-6 at home all time against the Dolphins, so that one's neutral. But the 54 can only play with the Ravens beating the Dolphins. I do favor that. I favor all the 54 narratives on this Sunday. But again, I'm just going to show you both sides of the coin. If the Ravens lost, they would be 9-7 versus the Dolphins all time. That's interesting because Dolphins is 97. 97 is the 25th prime. Ravens is 25. Ravens is also 79. The Ravens would be 7-9 versus the Dolphins all time. Miami Dolphins is also 79. So through the all-time record, there is something there for the Dolphins. But again, I don't like the all-time record as much as just the regular season record. And people who were here last year, I think they'd agree with me. We just saw so often there would be a great riddle through the all-time record, but the regular season's the one that seemed to hit. Kind of like how Rodgers on the opening night got his 17th regular season win against the Bears. He could have also stayed on 17 all-time wins. The date was September 5th or 5/9, like 59. 59 is the 17th prime number. So anyway, Dolphins falling to 5-4 looks like the right ritual for the day of the year and the season. I prefer that narrative. Fitzpatrick, he has played. He's played the Ravens tough in his career, 2-2. Through Fitzpatrick's record, you could make an argument that he could stay on 75 losses in the regular season. Baltimore Ravens is 75. He could also stay on 29 wins at home, 29-date numerology. He could pick up his 34th loss. Ravens is 34. And that for the decade stat is something that we never, at least I had never observed before. Just on mcube.net, Martin Brown brought this to our attention. If you go to NFL teams and you go to any team, so I'll just choose the Green Bay Packers. I think the riddle was actually through the Bears. But if you go to by decade after you click on the team, it shows you that in the 2010s, they're now 89-53. They avoided their 54th loss on Monday Night Football. The Bears, from the Bears' perspective, where's the Bears at? Chicago Bears. There we go. From the Bears' perspective, the Bears, they haven't updated this yet. But when they update it, the Bears will now have 77 losses in the decade, and Green Bay does equal 77. So they got their 77th loss of the decade to start the season. Green Bay 77. Again, Bart Starr died 77 days before the anniversary of the establishment of the Packers. And I was just looking at the decade for the Ravens. They are 65-79 for the decade. What's interesting about that, this would be another upset narrative for the Dolphins. Let me just show you. So if you go to Miami Dolphins and you go to by decade, you'd see that they're 65-79 for the decade. And again, I'm not going to make any calls off this off week one, but I'm definitely watching it. If the Dolphins won, they would be 66-79 in the decade. That's interesting because Ravens is 79 and Baltimore Ravens is 66. So if we see that week one that all these by the decade stats line up, well, then we will have learned something new and we can use it for the rest of the season. But because I've never observed this metric and I've only been able to watch it for one game, and you could have made an argument that the Packers could have picked up the 54th loss of the decade too. Still just going to wait and see. And again, because Sunday is the 251st day of the year, the 54th prime, I prefer the 54 riddles. All right, so Falcons at Vikings, next game. This one hold on, let me go to the chat real quick to see what the chat thinks before I move on. Okay. All right. Okay, so no one's talking about the game. All right, All right, moving on to the next one. Falcons at Vikings. This game I'm feeling neutral on. And it was pointed out by a caller. I wasn't able to verify it myself. I'd have to go back and count every single Falcons season. I don't know a quick way to do it. But a caller said that he read that the Falcons could get their 29th opening day win. And if that's true, that would be a good sign for the Falcons because it's 29 date numerology. Of course, football is 29. The Falcons are 10-18 versus the Vikings in regular season. If they lost this game, they'd stay on 10 wins in the 29th regular season game. 29 is the 10th prime. Prime numbers hit a lot. The other argument is that they could get their 11th win versus the Vikings because the primary date numerology, 56 and 29, does break down to 11 in numerology. 5 plus 6 is 11. 2 plus 9 is 11, the master number. The way the 11 could go against the Vikings is they're 3-10 at the Vikings in the regular season, so they could become 3-11. And let's see. All time, it's the 31st game. 31's the 11th prime. Falcons could stay on 11 wins versus the Vikings all time. The game's 114 days after Matt Ryan's birthday. Interesting distance because Minneapolis, Minnesota is 114. September 8th also leaves 114 days left in the year. Matt Ryan's dead even away all time. He's 46 and 46. And actually, now that I say that, let me see who his next away game is against. At the Colts. Oops. Colts have really dominated the Falcons in history. But I see if the Falcons won, you could get a pie ritual there. The Falcons would be 3-14 versus the Colts. 3-14, like pi 3.14. But yeah, that doesn't help me out with his home and away record for Ryan. Okay, so something that is interesting about Matt Ryan is he's 2-3 versus the Vikings. If he won, he'd be 3-3. They call him Matty Ice, which equals 33. He's born on the 137th day of the year. Let's add that in here. Born on 137th day of the year, which is the 33rd prime. And so anyway, 33 does seem to show up a lot with Matt Ryan. He could improve to 3-3 versus the Vikings. Quinn is 36-28 in the regular season. He could stay on 36 wins and pick up his 29th loss. That's the date numerology, 36-29. And with regards to the other coach, Zimmer, his next win is 48. Atlanta's 48. The game's on Zimmer's 96th day of his age. Minnesota Vikings is 96. Freemason equals 96 and 48. So maybe I'll just make a note about that. I mean, it is Freemasonry that runs the show, so this is their code. Zimmer's next loss is also 33. I should document that. ATL is 33. Atlanta on the 33rd parallel north, but they're not playing in Atlanta, so I would fade that. Something that I did catch about Zimmer's record, though, is that if he did lose to Atlanta and then he lost to Green Bay next week, and I imagine I think that's coming because, again, that home opener for the Packers is synced very well with Bart Starr's death, and it's on the 15th of the month, and, it's Rodgers' 15th season, and Bart Starr wore the number 15. But anyway, Green Bay's 139, the 34th prime, so if Zimmer lost his first two games of the year, he could get his 34th loss in the regular season against Green Bay. And Cousins, he's 34-37 in the regular season. If he lost, he'd be 34-38. Those are both Falcons numbers. So this is why I'm neutral on this game. I kept looking at it. I was like, I can't pull the trigger. Julio Jones is supposed to play now. So let me check with the chat real quick here. Yeah, Billy's saying the thing about how Zimmer could get his 48th win. Atlanta is 48. Magic Mushroom points out that these teams hosted the last two Super Bowls. That's absolutely true. That is absolutely true. I'm going to make a note about that up here in case it sparks somebody's mind. These teams hosted last two Super Bowls. Was there a 41 on the board, the Super Bowl number? Is there a 41 up here? Quinn could get his 41st loss all time. He'd also get his 29th loss on the 29 date numerology. Caller?
Hey, what's up, Zach?
What's up, man?
Hey, so I was looking at the packet you got, and I was looking at the playoff records for the teams. I was trying to come up with scenarios of who can be in there, and I actually think that the Patriots might lose in the conference final because of that conference record of 11-4. They get their fifth loss in the conference final, so whoever they play would beat them because of that relationship, the problem relationship of 11-5.
And also just talking about how there could be a baseball riddle this year, 115th World Series.
Yeah, and so then that got me looking at the Chiefs, right? And so the Chiefs are 1-1 in Super Bowls. That's a possibility, but also, the Aaron Rodgers connection, right, is 63. What about the Steelers? If the Steelers lose in the Super Bowl, they'd be 6-3.
That is very interesting. Again, that the coach for the wide receiver coach for the Steelers, his name was Daryl Drake. Daryl Drake equals 54. He died on August 11th, which is the day of the Packers establishment. And I have been wondering about that. I've been thinking maybe that's the symbolism that a team that can get their 6th Super Bowl might do it this year to tie the Steelers. The Packers obviously would be one of those teams.
Right, and the only other team that has 6 is the Patriots.
The only other team that what?
The only other team that has 6 is the Patriots.
Oh, yeah. God, that's right. I was thinking that the Steelers were still on top, but yeah, that's right. The Patriots tied them last year. Yep.
Yeah, so, but I haven't really looked into the Packers. I think they're, 4-1 this season, right?
Here, hold on. I have all that information. Let me verify it. Green Bay Packers. Let's see. I have to scroll up to that top of the NFC North part. All right. The Packers are 4-1 in Super Bowls. Yes, they are.
So if they were to go to the Super Bowl and win, it'd be 55-1, like 51.
What's that got you thinking with the 51?
There's nothing really there that I'm really thinking about. I'm just putting that out there. If they lost, it would be 4-2. But yeah, so I'm trying to think about the AFC opponents, and it's looking like either the Chiefs or the Patriots with the trade today, or the signing today of Antonio Brown. But I mean, I think that 11-5 would play, and they would lose. So whoever they play would probably either be the Steelers or the Chiefs. That's what I'm thinking about.
The Steelers, man, I just don't feel like they have the juice this year, but...
Right, but the other thing you keep talking about is that 54, right? But it's actually the 50th modern Super Bowl, and the two teams that have the 50 connection are the Steelers and the Chiefs.
Well, that is true that Pittsburgh is 50 and Chiefs is 50, so that is... I feel like it would be the Chiefs over the Steelers.
Right. They just signed Tyreek Hill to that extension, and the extension was...
$54 million?
Yeah. Dude, I mean, come on, man. So that was my thoughts on that. But I wanted to talk about that Atlanta game. You were talking about how you're kind of going back and forth on it, right? And you're not too clear on it. The way that I was looking at these games, I was just sticking to like the surface stuff, with the date numerology, 36, 29, and 56, right? So if I start digging too deep, I get all like, oh man, this can go this way. But realistically, I mean, dude, Dan Quinn's record of 36-28, like if he loses, that would be like perfect for that day, right?
It absolutely would. And I don't like to lead with coaches in the NFL, but there's not a lot to go off of. So, yeah, that would be perfect. And it would make sense if Zimmer got his 48th win over Atlanta, too. So,
yeah. A lot of the games are like that, where the coaching records are looking pretty strong. Some of the QB records look pretty good.
So that's the thing that – so usually the QB stats will come in ahead of the coach stats. And that's what worries me, though, because Cousins could fall to 34 and 38, and those are both Falcons numbers.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I still think that one's pretty dangerous. But go with the guns, man. But, yeah, I think that one's going to stay hairy to me. So.
Yeah, and then so the one game that I was going back and forth on, but I'm like 60% on Tampa and then 40% on San Francisco.
The thing I saw in that game is how I'm not to it yet, but I know the 49ers can become 5-4 at Tampa Bay with a loss.
Right, yeah, that's what too. And Jameis Winston equals 54.
His name does equal 54, yes it does.
Yeah. All right, I'll call back a little later.
All right, appreciate it. All right, so yeah, I don't think I'm going to be able to get it done with the Falcons and Vikings. If it wasn't for Cousins, I probably would like the Vikings there, but man, Cousins worries me. I gotta let me just look one more time down the schedule here for the Vikings. See what's down the pipe for. All right, so Falcons, and then he's got. Whoops, I went to the wrong. No, that is what I want to think. Okay, so if he lost, Well, if he didn't lose, he'd go into that Packers game still on 37. Packers does have the 37 connection. Caller? Caller?
Yeah, Zach, that last guy that called in when he was talking about the Packers being 5-1.
If they won the Super Bowl, they'd be 5-1.
Right, 51 written out as a word equals 100 in English ordinal.
Huh. That's a good observation. Yeah, that's a good observation, man. Yeah, good work. Appreciate that.
All right, thanks.
All right, take care. So that is interesting if they became 5-1. And you know what? I see that 116 too. What that reminds me of is the Week 1 preseason game. It was 116 days after the burning of Notre Dame. And remember, both the Notre Dame players scored the first 2 touchdowns, and they both played at Notre Dame, and the first touchdown was a defensive player, and he had a connection to 54 and 100. So, if Cousins lost the first 2 games, I'm just going to close this one and use this one. Caller?
Hey, Zach, I got a question to ask you.
Yeah.
Do you have still a certain team you don't trust? I don't trust Minnesota. I don't trust them jokers, man.
Yeah, I don't, and that's part of the reason I don't like that game. So.
Yeah, Minnesota's like Chicago, man. I don't trust them because Minnesota let me down last year. Remember last year they lost to Buffalo, remember?
Well, you should have been here because we saw that could be the upset of the week because it was a giant 111 ritual. New York 111, Minneapolis, Minnesota 111. So.
Y'all had that game.
We saw the potential upset. I do remember I was gun shy to call it, but we pointed out it was right there. I was like, man, that's a huge 111 riddle with a Buffalo upset. It looked hard to call that at that point in the year because Buffalo was so bad at that point in the season and Minnesota looked good. So, but it was right there. The 111 was just staring us in the face.
Hey, before I leave, I got a question for you. I just talked to certain things. Do you know when Pittsburgh play at Philadelphia in a regular season, they don't win? You ever saw that?
Pittsburgh at Philadelphia? What about it?
When they play at Philly in the regular season, they don't win. But when they play Philly come to Pittsburgh, they win the regular season. Why is that?
I'd have to think about that. I'd have to look at that. So I'm not sure.
When you get a chance to look at it, you can't do it right now, but when you get a chance to look at it.
Okay.
I started myself, and every time they go to Philadelphia, they lose.
Okay.
It's kind of weird, you know.
Okay. Yeah, that's interesting. I'll look into it.
Because certain games, they don't play this year, play next year. I was just kind of talking about this saying, but certain games you can see, you can make it. When if you see it, then we really do come that year. Then we know who's going to make win. You know.
Yep.
Okay. No problem. I let you go. No problem, man.
All right. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, some people did win huge last year on that Buffalo game because they took it, but I was just gun shy. I was like, man, 111's all over the place, and it's right there, but it's just hard to imagine. That's the way I felt about it last year, that Buffalo-Minnesota game. But yeah, that was the game that ruined people. So that's why you want this knowledge. New York 111, Minneapolis, Minnesota's also 111. Okay, Bills at Jets. I saw a lot of sports articles favoring the Bills in this game, and I thought that was curious. Remember, Bills and Jets both summed to 54. See a lot of 54 rituals with these teams over the years. Again, 251st day of the year, 54th prime. Darnold could improve to 5-9 for his career by winning on September 8th, 9 plus 8, 17, 59, the 17th prime. The Jets could get their 56th win versus the Bills on the 56th date, so I like that. And one concern is right here. The Jets are 30-29 at home versus the Bills all time. In the regular season, they're 30-28. So you have a 29 date numerology. And then the other thing you could chime in about that is New York is 33, 30-30 question mark, you know. So you got an argument with the date numerology for a Jets 56th overall win or the 29th regular season loss at home. So the date numerology is kind of a wash. The Jets last year lost without Darnold 10-41 at home. They got blown out on 11-11. That was 43 weeks before this game. The Jets won with Darnold 27-23 at the Bills. So Darnold's 1-0 versus the Bills for his career. That game was 39 weeks ago, and as we know, that's the big New York number. And now the game's, in the Jets city. By the way, this game's 100 days from Joe Namath's birthday. You might recall Sam Darnold started his career with a pick six by the numbers last year. It was a 37-yard interception return, about the dumbest play you could ever do, something a Pee-wee football player wouldn't even do, run to one side of the field and throw it all the way back across the other. But 37-yard pick six against Detroit. Pick six equals 37, so does Detroit. Scripted to the T. But anyway, Darnold can improve to 5-9. And where did I put the note at? The quarterback he's facing, his full name is Joshua David Allen, which equals 59. Allen also equals 17, 59, the 17th prime. Darnold, let's see. He's 1-0 versus the Bills. If he did lose, he'd be 1-1, like how New York's the 11th state, like how they lost last year on 11-11. But I'm digging him getting to 5-9. Special number. It's a Freemasonry number. He's going up against the right QB. And I like the Jets better this year than the Bills. I see the Jets having a good season. We saw that. Let me show you this while we're talking about, or what's wrong thread to do it on. Hold on. Let me find where I want you to see. Oh, it's just right up at the top of the thing, actually. It's at the very top of the post. The Jets this year, if the Jets go to the playoffs and they won in the conference semifinals, this would mean they'd make it to the AFC Championship. But if they did, they'd become 5-4 in the conference semifinals. So Jets could be special this year if Darnold really emerges. It seems like they're touting Darnold as a future star of the league. And they got Le'Veon Bell. They got Adam Gase, who's not the greatest coach, but he did come from Miami, which could be a clue where the Super Bowl is this year. So Jets is the only team in the base ciphers where it's 54 forwards and backwards. So okay, so coming back to the notes. Darnold plays the Browns next week at home. He could improve to 3-4 in week 1. And if he lost next week to the Browns, he would be 3-5, which is possible. Browns is 35. What I need to say, though, is recall the note about what's his name? Mayfield. If Mayfield wins week 1 and loses week 2, he would be 7-8. New York equals 78. Cleveland equals 78. If he won, though, he'd be 88-7, and reflections of numbers do count. So 8-7, 7-8, they're very similar in this study. But if Darnold won this week and lost next week, that could make some sense. I guess if he lost this week and won next week, I'll tell you what, if Darnold loses this week and Mayfield wins this week, then I would really like the Jets to win next week and beat the Browns. So that's something to observe. But Darnold to get to 5-9 against the right QB, and I just favor the Jets. To me, they're going to have the better season than the Bills, and winning game 1 makes a lot of sense. Also, I like that it's 100 days from Joe Namath's birthday, the 100th NFL season. Again, that seems like a little bit of a tribute, too. They did rituals with Darnold and Namath last year. Let's see. The game is on Allen's 111th day of his age. That is the New York number, but it's a New York battle. Doesn't mean he's going to win. McDermott could get his 18th loss to start the season on his 171st day of his age. Again, 171 is the 18th triangular number. Could pick up the 18th regular season loss. Bills is 18. Jets is also 18 if you use the rule for S. Josh Allen can fall to 5-7. New York Jets is 57. New York City's 57. If he won, he'd be 6-6, which is the 11th. 66 is the 11th triangular number. But I just see the Jets being the better team, so I think they do something this year. Beating the Bills week 1, that'd be a big step in potentially having a playoff season. And remember, the Jets played like gangbusters last year, week 1. They were the first game of the MNF doubleheader. If you go back and look, the Jets won game 1 of Monday Night Football with 48 points. That was the Jets over the Lions, and then the Rams beat the Raiders with 33 points. I think that game ended with a pick 6, if I remember right. But MNF 33-48 all the time. So I favor the Jets. All right, just checking. Checking. Altuan Harris thinks that the Falcons get redemption this year for last year. Sometimes things are that way. It's possible. Okay, Redskins at Eagles. Redskins, one of 5 teams with the 54 connection. This year they have Darius Geis. He was supposed to play last year but got hurt. He looks like a young star running back. Philadelphia, 9.5-point favorite. Let's see if that's changed. Now they're a 10-point favorite, so that means the money's going on the Eagles to cover. Remember, use pregame to your advantage. Let's see. Pregame's the site that shows where the money's at. Okay. So Jay Gruden, the coach of the Redskins, he is 35-44-1 in the regular season. Something that does stand out is he could pick up his 36th win on the lesser date numerology of 36. Redskins does equal 36. There are a lot of surprising games, oftentimes at the start of the NFL season. So if the Redskins came out and beat the Eagles, Gruden's got a narrative, but remember, it's not good to lead with the coaches. Case Keenum, who's the quarterback for the Redskins, he could stay on 29 all-time losses, but I would look more at the regular season losses. Keenum can get his 29th regular season loss on the 29th date numerology, and that's the more pure method than 36. Plus, I'd always lead with the QB before I did the coach in the NFL. So Keenum can get the 29th regular season loss. For the Eagles, the game begins on Wentz's 253rd day of his age, the National Football League 253. 253 is the 22nd triangular number. Eagles is 22. Peterson's 29-19 in the regular season, going to be his 49th game. Eagles and Washington's 49. If you want to add to that list, so is NFL. By the way, this game's on the Eagles owner's birthday. The Eagles owner is going to turn 68 years old for this game. Wentz, I had to look a game ahead for Wentz. I saw that if he won this game and he won next week against the Falcons, he'd get his 25th win. Falcons in 25 is a riddle that hits a lot. So based on that, I had to fade the potential upset through Jay Gruden and say, yeah, this looks like Wentz probably wins this game and week 2 against the Falcons. Caller?
Hey, I was just thinking for this Redskins game, I know I keep bringing up Geis, but a better bet for this game might be the prop on Geis to get over or 1 touchdown rushing at least. And so I'm wondering if...
Let's see how things line up with him real quick.
Yeah, if you just look into it a little bit, because that's plus 175.
If he scores a touchdown?
For just one touchdown.
So you bet 100, it pays 175, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll take a look at that.
All right, thanks.
All right, yeah, no problem. All right, so Darius Geis has a June 21st birthday. Whoop. And let's see. The game's 79 days after his birthday. And didn't we see earlier that his name equals 79? We were talking about this, or maybe I'm spelling his name wrong. I thought, what was it about 79 we were talking about earlier? Well, notice how his name's 77. Where does he play? Washington, D.C., the land of 77? Okay, so I forget what we were saying with him and McConaughey earlier in 79. All right, 79 days. That's the 22nd prime. What's his jersey number? He's number 29, on a date with 29 numerology. So Geis is number 29. 29 date numerology. And game is 79 days after his birthday. 22nd prime. Eagles 22 the opponent. I mean, it doesn't seem like a bad bet. Running backs pick up touchdowns all the time. He's supposed to be a good player. I'm actually surprised it pays out that much. So, he's got a nice alignment from the birthday. Let me run his last name real quick. Just Geis. Geis. He doesn't have any NFL stats because he hasn't played yet, so... He's 22 years old as well. 79 days after his 22nd birthday. Making his debut against the Eagles. Yeah, there's no clear indicator. But his jersey does go with the date numerology. Just be unfortunate if he got hurt or something like they did with him last year. Okay. But ultimately, I like that Wentz, if he wins this weekend, next week he picks up his 25th win against the Falcons. So that's how I was leaning on that one. The Rams and Panthers, number of things line up in this game for the Rams. Starting with the 56 date numerology, the Rams can become 5-6 at the Panthers. So that stands out right away. Let me see here. Rivera could get his 57th regular season loss. Rams is 57. And Newton could get his 54th career loss. And again, 251st day of the year, 54th prime. The devil's advocate narrative would be for him to stay on 53 because Los Angeles is 53, but I think it's just more about, that's probably why he's playing Los Angeles week 1. But again, I'm really looking for the 54s to hit this week. That's my theory. Again, 251st day of the year, 54th prime. You know the rest. 100th NFL season, Super Bowl 54. So let me come check out the chat. Sumner's doing some smart real-time betting. Oh, that's a good point. I like C. Billy's point. C. Billy makes a great observation about Wentz getting his 24th win. So C. Billy just pointed out that Wentz could get the 24th win on a date that's written 8/9 like 89. 89 is the 24th prime. So yeah, that's a great observation. Wentz can pick up 24th win on 8/9, 89, 24th prime. So yeah, that's a good one. But again, I do like the Rams here. They got the date numerology. Rivera's loss makes sense. Cam Newton getting the 54th loss on the perfect day makes sense. And, speaking of C. Billy's observation, you could do it here too. Newton can get 24th home loss on 8/9, 89, 24th prime. And if you use the exceptions on Los Angeles also equals 89. You got to use your numerology rules, but just in case you weren't aware of that, it is a number that shows up with Los Angeles. So you go to the reverse and you pull out the numerology exceptions. Los Angeles is 89. So yeah, good one. Good one. Okay. You know what else is weird? Newton's next loss all time is 58. Remember, he was the 58th quarterback to start in a Super Bowl. Von Miller, number 58, was the MVP. They were drafted right after each other, Newton and then Von Miller. Huey P. Newton equals 58. He's who established the Black Panther Party in the Bay Area where Newton lost in his Super Bowl. Okay. So Chiefs and Jaguars. I see the media is really hyping this as the upset pick of the week. So I'm sure all sorts of gamblers who trust the news are betting Jaguars to upset. Here's what I see in this game. The Jaguars are 6-6 versus the Chiefs in the regular season. Remember, the 66-67 season was the year the Packers and the Chiefs met in the Super Bowl. Super Bowl I. So if the Jaguars are 6-6 versus the Chiefs, Jacksonville Jaguars equals 66 in the most pure cipher. If the Jaguars lost, they'd be 6-7 versus the Chiefs, Kansas City 67. You could make an argument that the Chiefs could lose and be 6-7 to the Jaguars, but I think it's more. Usually it's like more like the opponent picks up the record. The Jaguars becoming 6-7 versus Kansas City is more where it's at. So, anyway, I just see a 66-67 tribute there, which reminds me of Super Bowl I. The Jaguars are 4-2 versus the Chiefs at home. Jacksonville's 43 in the most pure cipher. Because it has an S in it, it is also 52. So you could make an argument for 4-3 or 5-2. But KC is 14, and 43 is the 14th prime, so I lean more towards that 4-3, plus football's 43. Remember, Masonics 43, Yale's 43, American football credited to Walter Camp, the Mason who went to Yale. So, through the head-to-head record, I like the Chiefs. And then Andy Reid could get his 66th regular season win. Jacksonville Jaguars is 66. Reid could also stay on 36 all-time losses with the Chiefs on the 36 date numerology. I saw that Mahomes could improve to 14-4 in the regular season. The Packers game, the opening night. I'm just going to make a note about here because I want people to use these notes all year to go back because we're looking for the ultimate pattern so we can nail the Super Bowl early again. But the Packers, on opening night by winning, made home teams 14-4 in kickoff games. And it was 14 weeks and 4 days after the death of Bart Starr. And 144 is a number that corresponds with the Jesuit order. Jesuit order equals 54 and 144. Again, you're Super Bowl 54. And if I didn't say so already, the Madden cover was announced 144 days before Mahomes' birthday. So, might be something with that too. Packers made home teams 14-4 in NFL kickoff game week 1. That game was 14 weeks and 4 days after death of Bart Starr. Starr was MVP of Super Bowl I, Packers over Chiefs. So I just see this 144 connection that could go between the two teams. And let's see. Doug Marrone, his narrative to win is to get his 32nd win because Kansas City's 32, Chiefs is 32. So there is a narrative through Marrone, but again, I've learned not to lead with coaches. He could also get his 36th loss on the 36th date. And let me see. Nick Foles could get his 19th regular season loss. Kansas City 67, the 19th prime. Plus it's 2019 first game. So week 1, Super Bowl 1, Packers, Chiefs. I see some parallels in the records with a Chiefs win. So the only narrative I see for the Jaguars to upset is through Marrone and possibly becoming 5-2 at home versus the Chiefs. Caller?
Yes. And to go along with your Chiefs Jaguars game, Andy Reid could pick up his 32nd loss too.
Well, how would the 32 reflect with the Jaguars game?
Because Doug Marrone could get his 32nd win.
Oh, so the 32's on both sides. I see what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
He can get his 32nd win, and he can get his 32nd loss to, Reed, and also he could get his 17th win all time, and it's, 17-date numerology also as a Jaguar.
Oh, yeah, that is true. That is true that he could get, or he could get the 19th loss in Kansas City 67, the 19th prime.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good observations. Yeah, that's true.
Just that one. I'll be calling in for when you get to the Patriots and Steelers game.
All right, you got it. Appreciate it. Thanks, man.
All
right. So, yeah, I'll punch that in here. Kansas City equals 67, 19th prime. 9 plus 8 equals 17. September 8th. But again, I see the tribute to the first NFL season, and it seems that's where they're going with it. So, and I like that Reed can get that 66th win over the Jacksonville Jaguars. That's a number that hits a lot with the Jags. 66. We've called a bunch of Jaguars games with 66 riddles, postseason and regular season. Okay. Okie dokie. All right, Colts at Chargers. This game is tight, in my opinion. The Chargers are a team with 100 connections. San Diego Chargers is 100. The Colts are 10-16 versus the Chargers in the regular season. You have a 17 connection with the date. The Colts could get the 17th loss versus the Chargers on 9-8. The Colts are 6-5 at the Chargers in the regular season. I swear, where did I write it at? I swear I wrote it right there. It's weird. Indianapolis Colts equals 75. All right, so they could fall to 6-6. Colts is 66, but Indianapolis Colts is 75. And these teams have played a bunch in the playoffs, which is interesting. 10-16 in the regular season. 11-18 all time. I guess what I could say about that is Los Angeles equals 37, the 12th prime. So you can make an argument through the head-to-head record either way. Reich, the coach of the Colts, he's 11-7 all time. If he lost, he'd be 11-8. Los Angeles, California equals 118. LA on 118th Meridian West. You could make an argument that he could get his 12th win, though, because Los Angeles is 37, the 12th prime. Brissett is 5-12 all-time and in the regular season. If he loses, he'd be 5-13. LA's 13, a number that plays big in LA. And if he lost, he'd be 1-7 away for his career on the 17 date. And now that I say that out loud, what's Phillip Rivers' jersey number? That's something I should have in my thing. Rivers is number 17. Phillip Rivers, number 17. So he could fall to 1-7 against Rivers, number 17. Rivers could get his 69th win at home all time. Colts is 69. In the regular season, though, he's 66-38. And that's tricky because Colts is 66 if he stayed on it. Rivers is 3-2 versus the Colts in the regular season. He's 5-2 versus the Colts all time. If you go to his all-time stat, if he lost, he would be 5-3, and Los Angeles is 53. Again, I do think it's better to stick with the regular season, but I don't see the symbolism in him being 4-2 or 3-3 in light of the two teams. So, not my favorite game of the week, Colts and Chargers. But Brissett has struggled on the road. Caller?
You know what I noticed with a lot of the younger quarterbacks who haven't played as many games there is prime relationships with their wins and losses. So with the Colts, if Brissett wins this week, he would probably lose next week because 13 is the 6 is the 13th prime, right?
Right, but wouldn't it make more sense for him to get that 13th loss versus LA?
Right. Then, so that was the thing that was catching me off guard because I was looking at Josh Allen's record, and so his last win of the season last year was in his 11th game.
Your phone's hard to hear. Say that last part.
Last season.
How about call me back because I think you got a bad connection when you called in. So I'm gonna stand by for your call. Something's wrong with the signal. Yeah, just give me a call back. Frank Reich, by the way, his full name is 100. All right, let's try this again. All right, caller?
Yeah, can you hear me now?
That's better.
All right, so I was saying that Josh Allen's last win of last season was his 5th in his 11th game. So I'm noticing with the younger quarterbacks, like they're using those prime relationships in the records.
Yeah, primes are usually good in sports. They're the least consistent in baseball. So, the primes are a good thing to look for.
Yeah, so what I'm thinking with Brissett is based on what happens this week, we can probably figure out what will happen to the Colts next week with this record.
Yeah, and here, looking at the Colts. So next week, the Colts are at the Titans. And they're 33, and the Colts are 33-15 versus the Titans. Next week will be a date with, let me think about it. Hold on. 14, 15, 27 date numerology. 24, 36 date numerology, and 63. And the lesser date numerology would be 43.
So Brissett would either be 5-13 or 6-12 going into next week.
Right.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, this game's kind of tricky here. So.
Yeah.
All right, man.
All right, appreciate it. Okay. But picking up that 13th loss in LA wouldn't shock anybody. It's just that head-to-head record could go either way, so. What season number is Phillip Rivers in? I want to check that real quick. And actually, let me do something else too. Let me get my computer plugged back in. I was charging up the phone. All right, there we go. Okay, so Phillip Rivers. Let's count up how many seasons he's played. This is going to be his 15th season, just like Rodgers. 15th season. And here, let's just think about it a little bit more. the Chargers next week. We got the Lions next week. Chargers could improve to 8-4, 3-4. Caller?
Hey, what's up, Zach? This is Marty.
Hey, man.
Not much. What games have you gone over that you really like? Because I have a few things I want to add.
Okay. So I like Baker Mayfield to get to 7-7 because Baker Mayfield's 77, and somebody also pointed out that his upcoming birthday is in 7 months and 7 days.
Mariota equals 77 as well.
So he could become 7-7 versus Mariota. So yeah, that's a good observation too.
Mm-hmm.
So let me.
The only thing I see that's leading for the Titans really is, their record. The season opener record is terrible, right? The Browns.
It's been 14 that they haven't won. They haven't won 14.
Yeah, but I think it's like one. It's a really bad record. I think it's like 118 or something like 1-8-1, I believe, or 0-8-1. Since they won 0-8-1, I believe that's what it is.
Sure.
So,
I'm kind of fading all that though because it's like a new day for the Browns, right? It's just been so long. So.
No, I can understand that. I mean, I'm not even going to really touch that game, to be honest. Besides what you mentioning that Mariota can get his 28th win against Browns, which equals 28 in the most pure cipher. I mean, that's the only thing I really saw in that game, But I'm probably going to stay away from that game. But with the Chiefs and the Jaguars game, you were saying a lot of sports analysts were saying that they like the Jaguars to upset.
Uh-huh.
Well, this is what I have on the Chiefs and Jaguars game. Besides you saying, Doug Marrone can get his 32nd win in his career, Kansas City equals 32, Chiefs equals 32. Nick Foles, outside of Philadelphia, all the teams he's played for besides the Eagles, his record is 5-7. With a win, he can become 6-7. Kansas City equals 67. If he wins next week as well, he can become 7-7. Like Jaguars equals 77, and he can also pick up his 7th win against I see YouTube and stuff like that, and on the sports show. What stats that they mention are pretty relevant in my opinion. But like I said, his record, and this will be the 13th game between Chiefs and Jags. Right now, Andy Reid's record in September is 15-5. He can get his 6th loss all time in September, in the 13th game between the Jaguars and Chiefs. Right now, Andy Reid's record against the Jaguars is 3-0. He can fall to 3-1, just like Chiefs, I believe, is 31. It's either, I'm not looking at everything at once, but I think Chiefs is 31.
Maybe when you run it in reverse it is. Let me check. Yeah, Chiefs is 31 in reverse, yeah.
Yeah, Chiefs is 31, and also, that's about it I have. I mean, Nick Foles' record, they might mention that too. Nick Foles' record outside of Philadelphia is 5-7. He could become 6-7, and if he wins 2 straight, because a lot of people are saying the Jaguars are going to do well this year, he could become 7-7 as a starter for Jacksonville Jaguars. Jaguars equals 77. He can do it against Houston, which equals 77.
He'd have to. So that's looking at his stats outside of Philadelphia, which is an interesting thing. But it's like, is that really the best way to look at it, rather than his career record?
No, I understand. I mean, yeah, but these are sometimes stats that you don't get to see until they show game time. They're like, because it's stats that nobody really thinks about. You're like, oh wow, his record outside of Philadelphia is 5-7. But no, you're absolutely right. It's kind of abstract, to be honest. But also Doug Marrone can walk into Houston with 32 wins. Houston equals 32. That's another thing.
Or he could pick it up there.
That's very true too.
Yeah. Because I just know how much 66 plays so much with the Jaguars, and Reed.
No, you're right, and that's why. I mean, it's a really tight riddle, but I'm really just like I really don't want to pick the Chiefs week 1. Like for some reason, I don't want to pick the Chiefs 1, and also right now.
Look at if Reed. Consider this. Look at if Reed wins his first 2 games, he'll be 67-31 with the Chiefs. Kansas City 61, Chiefs. Kansas City 67, Chiefs 31.
No, I mean, yeah, like I said, you make a lot of sense with picking the Chiefs, but also right now, if you're going by the decade wins, Jacksonville Jaguars, they're on 99 losses right now for this decade, and they have 45 wins. So if they win, it'll be a span of, you said from Doug Marone's birthday to this game is a span of 46. He could pick up the 46 win, for the decade.
Yeah, we got to watch what happens with that decade this week. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not putting too much weight in it too, but besides that, 77 plays so well with the Packers, which is why I was pretty confident in the Bears losing. I mean, it's just like who they really gonna get their 77th loss to besides the Packers.
Right. Yeah. So that was a good observation. Indeed.
And the Vikings game right now, I'm not sure if you talked about this game, but in the Vikings and the Falcons game right now, Vikings hold the 3-0 win streak against them. If you didn't know that.
I didn't know that. So 3-0. So is Atlanta Falcons 40? I think it is.
Yeah, Atlanta Falcons is 40. Dan Quinn is 40. Julio Jones is 40.
So they could have a 4-game winning streak, huh?
Mm-hmm. But you already have the thing about Kirk Cousins going 0-4 against the Falcons. I know you do.
Yeah, that's another thing they could. Yeah, that's.
So, I mean,
I don't like that game. That's a game I do not like this week.
And I don't blame you, to be honest, because that's a tough game too. But I mean, there's a lot of games that definitely could go both ways. I'm trying to make a parlay right now. I only have maybe about 2-3 teams that I feel really confident in. I'm gonna drop some links in the chat so you can look at what I'm looking at, and you can give me your opinion on it. All right.
Okay, sounds good, man.
All right,
appreciate it. All right, so Vikings can win 4 straight versus Falcons. That's interesting. Let's look at that real quick. Let's see how long that streak's been going on. There could be a clue there. 2 of those wins were at Atlanta. All right, let's see. Let's take a look at that. September 28th, 2014 is when it began. And 258 weeks. I don't think that number helps me out. Yeah, I don't know about that one. 59 months and 11 days. All right. What I see in that Chiefs game, though, is a tribute to the 66-67 season Packers-Chiefs. Again, I still like the Chiefs in that one. I think more lines up for them. I don't like to lead through the coach. Again, when I've led through the coach, it's burned me. Marone could get his 32nd win. Kansas City's 32, Chiefs is 32, NFL's 32, 32 teams. He could also get his 36th regular season loss on the date numerology. And again, I like Andy Reid's riddle better, getting that 66th win. I know that one hits with the Jaguars, just like how these teams are 6-6 against each other this year. And again, if Jacksonville loses, 4-3 at home, football 43, Jacksonville 43, 43 the 14th prime, KC 14. Who do the Chiefs play next week? Chiefs next week. Got the Raiders. 24. That game's going to be on a 63 date numerology. Interestingly enough, the Chiefs will come in with 63 wins. That would be a shocker if the Chiefs lost to the Raiders. When do they play the Raiders again? December 1st. 13, 32, 52 date numerology. So if the Raiders didn't win that first game, they'd stay on 52 wins to play again on the 52 date. Raiders also equals 52. Again, staying on the number for the date numerology is not real consistent. It's always about picking it up. All right. Okay. Here, let me see. Martin said he was going to drop some links. Did he already drop them? Martin says Dan Quinn could get 37th regular season win, and Vikings is 37. I missed that. Let's see. I missed that one. I'm pretty sure he's right about that. Yeah, Vikings is 37. Got to get back into season form. Got to get them all stored in the brain. All right. Yeah, I still don't like that game, though. Still don't like it. All right. So, next game up on the list. Oh, we were talking about this Colts at Chargers. I think this one's tight right here. This one is tight. Head-to-head record can go either way. That 118, man, that is such a big number in Los Angeles. Frank loses, he's 118. And if Brissett gets that 13th loss in LA, that makes sense, and falls to 1-7 away against Rivers, number 17. I suppose that makes some sense too. What I need to get in this packet is every QB's jersey number. The jersey numbers are important, and that's something I forgot about my analysis. Is he number 7? Is he number 7? He's number 7. So if he's 1-7 away, or yeah, 17 is the 7th prime. So maybe him falling to 1-7 makes a lot of sense. And getting that 13th loss. Okay. I do worry about Rivers' all-time record. But again, the all-time is not as important as the regular season record. It's just there's nothing... His all-time record go either way. It's tight. All right, Bengals at Seahawks. Somebody called in. It had a lot of interesting observations about Bengals potentially upsetting the Seahawks. Seattle's a 9.5-point favorite. Pretty big spread in the NFL. The over-under's at 43.5. Remember, Seattle Seahawks is 43. Seattle's 44. So I wouldn't mess with that over-under. The Bengals are 10-9 versus the Seahawks in the regular season. They're 4-4 at the Seahawks in the regular season. That means either team could improve to 5-4 versus the opponent in Seattle. Russell Wilson is the man who equals 54, and he's born in Cincinnati. So to me, this game seems like a tribute to Russell Wilson. Playing against his city of birth to open this season. His name's 54. Bengals are 1-0. That's in the playoffs. The game's on Zach Taylor's 122nd day of his age. That's interesting because Seattle's on the 122nd meridian. Game's 314 days after Dalton's birthday. Pi number. Caller?
What up, Zach? This is Martin again. All right, since you're on the Seattle and Bengals game, I'm going to drop a link in what I have.
Did you drop a link before? I didn't see anything.
No, I didn't drop a link before. Give me 1 sec.
I see your link. Let's check it out. Okay.
All right. So did you check the chat already?
Yeah, I got the link up on the screen. It's a USA Today article.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So look, I will look at those stats real quick. I mean, but besides that, give me 1 more sec. I'm gonna drop the other one. And this is.
Says Cincinnati holds a 3-1 mark in the 4 meetings since 2003. So in recent history, they've done well. That's not the Russell Wilson era. I'm not sure how they picked that because that's not the Dalton or the Wilson era. Again, somebody's getting the 54 tribute in this game. And I'm pretty sure if Pete Carroll doesn't lose, he will stay on 54 regular season losses. So that's something that's how the 54s could go in Seattle's favor. Let's see.
I dropped another link in the. I'm not sure if you looked at it yet. My thing might be going slower than your screen.
The Bengals have won the season opener in 10 of 14 career playoff seasons. Okay.
But this is. I'm gonna read you what I have for the game, and the way I see the game is the all-time series is 11-9. Bengals lead in the series with a win, they could become 12-9. Bengals could pick up their 12th win versus the Seahawks and them being the 12th man and everything like that. Bengals equal 129. Seahawks equal 129. Russell Wilson can stay on 75 wins on the season. Cincinnati Bengals equal 75. Andy Dalton can pick up his third win against number 3, which is Russell Wilson. The Bengals are 24 and 27 in season openers. They could pick up their 25th win, reflection at 52. Andy Dalton equals 52. This is the Bengals' 52nd season opener. From his birthday to this upcoming game is 52 days. Andy Dalton could stay on 54 losses all time versus Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson equals 54, and this is the year Super Bowl 54. From Zach Taylor's birthday to this game is 121 days. Zach Taylor equals 121. This will be Andy Dalton's 121st career game.
Dalton's 121st career game too?
Yeah.
Which does have a square root of 11. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good observation. They could get the 11th regular season win. Yeah, that was a good catch with the all-time record in the 129.
How often does the 129 come into play? I mean, I'm really finding it hard to figure out which cipher is the most purest. I mean, I know you say the blue one is the most purest, but I've called games like NBA games before using a reverse reduction.
Well, we know all 4 of those ciphers hit, so they're all pretty relevant.
True. And somebody in the chat was saying, don't forget the Football Zebras website. I'm gonna drop I can drop that in the chat if you want me to.
I know that site. Yeah, I can pull it up.
And then when you get to the Steelers and Patriots game, I got this one link that's gonna pretty much sum everything up for you. So I mean, when you get to that game, I'll let you know. And did you get the link that I sent you in your email about the Denver and Raiders game?
Hold on, let me go back. Let me see. Let's see. I think I did get it. You sent it yesterday, right?
Yeah.
Is your email name Martin? I forget. I'm pretty sure it is.
It should say my name, but usually my email should be saying confidence.
Why is it not coming up? Why do I not see that email?
I sent it to you in your sports email just so you know.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what I'm on. Or hold on.
Oh, okay.
Maybe I'm on the wrong one. Maybe that's why. Yeah, there it is. Okay. Monday Night Football record.
Yes, I mean, and I'm pretty sure you heard all the crazy news with Antonio Brown and everything like that. But yeah, look at that link real quick. But I mean,
we called it before he even went to the Patriots. We said, 9-7. That's Bill Belichick. He reforms the receivers. So
I'm real salty about that, But it is what it is. I mean, but it's funny though because Oakland Raiders equals 60, and they're in their 60th season. And from Antonio Brown's birthday to the Monday Night Football game is I believe it's from today is 60 days. I think it's something right around there.
Okay.
But it was something ritualistic. So, but I mean, look at that link, and I'm gonna post a link in the chat for the Patriots and Steelers game. I think I did it last live stream, but you closed it out because you said the stream was gonna last too long. So
yeah, they can only be 8 hours long. So
yeah, but Bengals Bengals do have number. I'm hoping that 129 definitely does hit. But I mean, if you were looking at that link I sent you, I mean,
it's all-time stats though. That's just why I'm just like, man. We see so many good riddles in all-time, all the time, and they just don't come through. And that's why I'm always preaching. Look at the regular season. So.
No, I mean, and I respect that. The only thing that scares me about that game is the fact that right now they're 24 and 28 in season openers. And 24 equals
Seahawks and 29 date numerology too.
And Bengals equal 24, don't they?
Yep, it does.
Yeah, and they're both in the most pure cipher. So I mean, that kind of scares me about the game. But I'm really trying. I think I'm gonna be rocking with the 129, and everything like that. And the date for the coach's birthday lines up with Andy Dalton. And I mean, the Bengals usually do really, really well in September. I'm gonna try to see if I can find a stat on how well they do in September.
All right.
For some reason. But yeah, that's about it. I'm gonna post some of the links that I'm using. So, all right.
All right, appreciate it, man.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, it's just season after season, people are making good observations about the all-time records, and I just know they don't come through. It is interesting that Zach Taylor is 121 and 122. That's exactly how his name is. But yeah, just looking at the 54s, if Pete Carroll doesn't lose, he stays on 54 regular season losses on the 251st day of the year. And even though I know the all-time burns me so much, it is very interesting how Bengals and Seahawks are both 129. Okay. Yeah. This one's tricky, though, because that 54 could play for either team. Dalton's on 54 all-time losses. I know that. Where'd he go at? Dalton, 54 all-time losses. If he lost in the regular season, he'd get his 51st loss. Seahawks and Cincinnati are both 51. He could also get his 29th away loss in the regular season on the 29 date numerology. So I meant to ask Martin where he's getting these opening week stats. I want to know where those numbers come from. So all right, yeah, that one is a little tight. I'd say this is one of the tighter games, just because the 54 tribute could play either way. But looking at the regular season stats, things look better for the Seahawks at all time. Okay. How many rookie coaches are this year? It'd be interesting to see how all the rookie coaches perform in week 1. Let's look a week ahead with who these teams play next. Seattle Seahawks next week. They got the Steelers at the Steelers. So they play AFC North 2 weeks in a row. Could there be something to that? AFC North 85. Come back to that in a bit. Steelers. Pittsburgh Steelers. AFC North was 85 like National Football League. So if he stayed on 85 losses, he has 2 games. Or whoops, I put that in the wrong spot. 2 games versus the AFC North. Pittsburgh Steelers. Pittsburgh Steelers. Okay, let's look at the next game. Giants at Cowboys. So, the Cowboys are 66-45-2 versus the Giants in the regular season. If they won the first game of the year, they'd get 67, the 19th prime. Their next loss is 46. NYG, the acronym for the Giants, is 46. They did win Super Bowl 46. Cowboys are 36-20-1 versus the Giants at home in the regular season. And the season starts perfect with Dak. It's 41 days after Dak's birthday, or his 42nd day of his age. Dallas is 41. Dak Prescott's 42. Garrett's next win is 78. New York is 78 in the regular season. Prescott's, his next regular season win is 33. New York is 33. Cowboys is 33. The game's 330 days after Jerry Jones' birthday as well. Prescott's 4-2 versus the Giants. Giants is 25-34. From the Giants' perspective, they could be 2-5 versus Prescott, or 3-4. Dallas Cowboys is also 43-52. Or actually, no, I take that back. That's actually not true about 52. It's 43-61. There's two S's there. Prescott is 2-1 at home versus the Giants. Dallas is 13-22. And then with Shermer, let's see. Manning's on 118 away all-time losses. Dallas, Texas is 118. He's on 114 regular season losses. September 8th leaves 114 days left in the year. Manning is 13-16 versus the Cowboys in the regular season. And again, it is September 8th, so Manning is 6-8 at Dallas in regular season. New York 78. I guess I wrote a bunch of notes. I thought I put them in here too. I must have just been posting them in the Patreon post yesterday because I know I wrote this stuff down. Manning could fall to 6-9 in Texas as well. What stood out to me is just how nicely the regular season wins line up for Prescott and Garrett. The 78th New York, the 33rd versus New York. Giants don't seem like they're going to be a very good team this year. If the Cowboys won, it'd be one of those things to pull the rugs out from under the feet of the bettors. But I like the alignment with Garrett and Prescott. Both of their wins make sense. So I wonder how many weeks Manning starts this year. So, all right. The Lions and Cardinals game, this is a game I do not like this week. And the reason why is because I just don't know what they're going to do with Murray. So again, Cardinals and Bears are the only two teams playing in their 100th season. The Bears already lost. Caller?
Yeah. And I see from Eli's birthday to the game, you have his 248 days?
248 days, right?
Yeah, I did his from his birthday this year till the game, and it's 117 days. He could pick up his 117th win.
That is true. You're right about that. It would be 117 days to his upcoming birthday.
And then just think, Dak Prescott has 17 wins at home. He could stay on 17 wins at home and pick up his 17th loss. So that 17 sticks out for 17 date numerology.
Yeah, those are good points. Those are good points.
Has 55 wins, so if he does win, he'll be 56 away wins. With the date numerology in 56.
That's true as well. Yeah, you're right about that as well. Yeah, you got some good observations there. That'd be the upset narrative.
Yep.
All right, man.
All right.
Yeah, good work. Good work. Okay. All right. Manning could pick up 56th away win. 56 date numerology. So that's true. And he is right that it's 117 days to the upcoming birthday. Manning's upcoming birthday is in 117 days. Could pick up 117th regular season win. And there's a relationship with 13 and 117. 13 equals 117. Dallas equals 13. So Shermer is just But again, Prescott can get that 33rd regular season win. New York and Cowboys are 33, and Garrett can get the 78th regular season win. New York 78. Let's go back and look at who they play in week 2. Caller?
Hey Zach, how you doing?
Doing well, man.
Good. So to add on with that last guy was talking about with Eli. It's the 114th meeting between the two teams on the day that leaves 114 days left in the year. Manning currently has 114 regular season losses.
That's a good point.
Manning equals 117. He can win his 117th game.
117 days before his birthday?
Yeah, it would be his regular season game, and he would win it 170, exactly like the other caller said.
Yeah, those are really good points, man. That's very interesting right there, yeah.
The crazy thing about that is 117 days is 3 months, 26 days. If you wrote that like a date, 26/3, that's the 56th prime number on a 56 date.
Huh. Yeah, that's wild. Yeah, those are really good observations.
Can I make another one?
Of course.
So in regards to Eli Manning, right, earlier in the year when I was doing some decodes, I realized that Eli Manning's regular season record's 116 and 114.
Say it again?
And with his regular season record.
116 and 114?
116, 114.
Right, yeah, that's what I got.
I was thinking about how this year was all about 118.
Sure.
So I thought, man, he might start the season 2-6. And then I went and I checked on who he was playing his 6th week. And that's a Thursday night game against the Patriots.
Patriots is 118.
So from...
You were thinking he would start 2-6 because Eli equals 26, right?
Yeah. He's going to start 2-6, and they're going to pull him after that. And the kid's going to take over, I'm pretty sure. From week 1 to... Okay, so from week 1 to the day after that Thursday game is 33 days.
Okay.
Week 6 equals 33.
Okay.
It's on a 33 date.
Okay.
The funny thing is from Jones's birthday this year to that same exact day is 137 days, the 33rd prime.
Okay.
From Manning's birthday this year to that day, that 10-10 date against the Patriots is 9 months, 8 days, like Manning equals 98.
Yeah, Tom Brady and Eli Manning both got the 98 connection.
Yeah, so I think not only will we see, I think that's the riddle right there, a big chunk of it. We're going to see Eli win this week because it looks like it lines up real well. You'll probably see him maybe win week 2 as well, and it'll be hype around New York, and then he'll probably dog 4, and they'll give it to the kid.
Yeah, that could be how it goes. Yeah, those are good observations.
All right, man, have a good one.
All right, yeah, great work. Okay, yeah, there's always surprises in week 1. Giants beating the Cowboys at home could be one of those things. And let me go back and see how things lined up with the owners for week 1 too, just for kicks. So Jerry Jones, it's 330 days after his birthday, week 1, kind of like 33. And Mara, let me see. Week 1 is 281 days after his birthday, the 60th prime. Super Bowl's on his 64th day of his age. New York Giants is 64. I don't see the Giants in the Super Bowl, but interesting how that lines up. Yeah, that 117 is very interesting. Who did the Giants play the next week? The Bills. You know, Buffalo Bills is 117. I know that from the top of my head. Buffalo Bills 117. So if Manning didn't get it against Dallas, he'd probably get it right there. I'm still, you know, man, that Manning alignment is something else, but things make sense for Prescott and Garrett to win too. But man, yeah, 117 days from the birthday is hard to go against. Manning will face Buffalo Bills in week 2. Buffalo Bills equals 117. I remember that because 117 shows up in Bills riddles a lot. So does Manning walk in with the 117? He very well might. If Manning doesn't win this week, though, I would chalk up that 117 for sure for next week. So again, let's not forget what just happened Monday night, right? Or Thursday night, excuse me. You know, Nagy could have become 13-4, 134 days after his birthday with a win. Trubisky could have got his 16th career win 16 days after his birthday. The date numerology even supported it. So, but Manning's also supported with the date numerology here for the 56th away win. This game's got me flustered now. All right, who do the Cowboys play next week? Cowboys got the Redskins next week. And 24, 36 date numerology. 14, 15, 27 date numerology. See, Redskins could stay on 27 losses in that one on the 27 date. And think about that. Redskins is 117 as well. Washington Redskins. Dak won week 1. Well, like I definitely gotta agree. The Giants got a great upset narrative through Manning. They really do. I want to go back and look at the head-to-head in recent years a little bit deeper. Cowboys head-to-head.
Oh, Zeke. Cowboys record with Zeke is 28-12. 28-12, and this will be their 41st game all-time with Zeke. 41 being the 13th prime. They can pick up the 13th loss with Zeke.
Okay, that's interesting. You also got the 29 date numerology too, though.
I was thinking about that too, you know. But I mean, what you saying earlier with all the 41 with Zeke and everything.
Yeah.
I was like, that's interesting. But
where are you pulling the stats for the running back win-loss records?
What I do is like, what you need. I mean, not saying you need to. I'm just saying, if when you got free time and whatnot, is like look at TV shows because they always pull up these type of stats. Remember, I was telling you about the stat with John Gruden and his season openers about how he's 4-8. Like they always drop stats like that. You can always find them on YouTube. Like NFL Network, they have them on there. But if you want to find them in websites, you're going to have to dig real deep in on Google. You're going to have to go like the 5th, 6th page, maybe even the 10th. And for like season openers, if I can't find them in Google by myself, I just count them up. And I don't count on the season before the NFL. I usually just do the NFL season. Like, so the AFL, I won't count it. Like I know the Chargers season record and season openers right now is 24 and 25. But I couldn't really find a riddle with that, facing the Colts.
Yeah, I can't think of one either off the top of my head.
Yeah, like I was hoping it was, something,
Colts
closer,
does equal 24. Colts equals 24.
Colts equals 24?
Yeah, if you use reduction in the rule with S.
Oh, okay, true, yeah. And then I was doing Phillip Rivers season openers, and I believe he's like 6 and 7. I believe because he only played 13 games. He's been in the league for 15 years, but he only started 13 times.
He didn't start his rookie season the first game.
Yeah, he didn't start his rookie year or the next year. Like, he only played 2 games in each, I believe. But yeah, his record's like 6 and 7, I believe. I could be mistaken. I'm gonna try to find my notes real quick, but yeah, that's another stat I usually try to look for because since the quarterback, it's pretty easy to find their win-loss ratio for season openers.
Okay, yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, but it is what it is. I mean, like it's tough for week 1, but I think we can find some good games. To be honest, I know you really like that Chiefs at 66 riddle. I think a lot of people are going to be on the Chiefs though, but I think they're going to try to give the Colts fans something. Since Andrew Luck just left, I think they might let them win. Oh, and also Colts lost their last 5 season openers. If that's saying something.
They lost the last 5?
Season openers, yeah,
Colts is 66. They lost 6.
They could lose 6, yeah. I mean, 6. And, they also Indianapolis Colts equals 60, which is another 6. 0 and 6, and stuff like that. But Jacoby Brissett equals 51, so they could become 5 and 1. In the last whatever. But
if he loses, he's 1 and 7 on the road against number 17 Rivers, and he wears 17, the 7th prime, so that was standing out. But yeah, that one is tight.
Mm-hmm.
His next loss is 13 too. LA's 13.
Yeah, I'm still looking for riddles for a lot of these games because I know there's something out there. I'm gonna try to maybe watch some TV shows because like they're always dropping stats that you won't usually find online. So that's usually where I find most of my stats. Like the Patriots and Steelers one, I'll drop. You can either go to that game right now and I'll drop it in the chat, or I'll just wait till you get to it. Because it is a Sunday night game. So I wanted to let you finish all the other games first, but
right.
If you want, I didn't want to take you off your spot, so I was going to just drop it when you started talking about that game.
Just I know sometimes we overanalyze. Like you always find great information. I'm pretty sure it was you that last year where we had 2 Saturday games and I came out with a 5-minute decode. It was like this team's winning and this team's winning, and I think it was you who pulled up all this stuff to play devil's advocate. We were on there for like 4 hours, and it ended up being the 2 teams that I liked in the first 5 minutes. So.
That's how you got to do that. You got to, like you said, turn over every stone. I'm not saying I'm automatically going to pick, certain teams. If you like certain teams, you should just go with your gut because, there's been a lot of times when I've listened to your reads on certain games, and I might just like my read better. And that's usually how I justify who I pick. Because, like, the fact that you have that Kansas City Chiefs game, I might really stay away from that Jacksonville Jaguars game. And that will be one I just respect your opinion.
Well, don't you remember last year? Don't you agree that when we led with coaches, it wasn't good?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It's not smart to lead with coaches. You're right.
And same thing with all-time stats, because so many times we see an awesome riddle in all-time, and then it doesn't go that way. It just sticks with the regular season numbers.
And we just need to get better, to be honest. Because all-time stats could be meaning that it's all-time, and we're not using just NFL stats. Like, we might be just tripping ourselves up. If we're using just NFL stats and not AFL with NFL, that could be a big problem as well. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, that's M cubed has the modern era, which is post-merger, and then some of these other things are pre-merger. So.
Yes, I mean I noticed that a lot too. Like, but yeah, I mean, but I mean you're absolutely right. I might decode too much, but I really just want to find everything on it and then go, just try to figure out my pick from then. Having all the information in front of me. Not, even if I do, dig too deep and then overthink it. I just don't want to. I don't want to also, not think too deep and then underthinking it.
Sure.
And,
sure. You don't want to miss the winning clue. I get that for sure. So yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, no, but you're absolutely right because there's been plenty of times when I've overthink games. So I mean, I'm trying to get better at that. I'm trying to find more prime number riddles, which is usually that they come through. But I mean, it's so rare. But. Or the storylines in the NFL, like that's really what you need to find is the storylines. Like if you go to NFL.com, I think those are the storylines that they're going off right now. Like it says for the Titans and Brown game, it says matchup of Heisman winning quarterbacks Mariota versus Mayfield. I think that's the storyline. So I've been trying to find storylines for those two guys, and then same thing with Bengals and Seahawks. The storyline is saying Zach Taylor making his head coaching debut for Bengals. So, that's why I was trying to find that Zach Taylor riddle. And same thing with the Colts and Chargers, Jacoby Brissett. Everybody knows about that, and then they're talking about Jimmy Garoppolo takes the field for the first time since week 3 of 2018. Remember, I was calling you maybe like last week, and I was telling you saying from that game to this upcoming game, which is tomorrow, is 50 weeks, and San Francisco equals 50.
Right.
But so I mean, it's just little things like that where I try to find, and like I said, and for the Giants and Cowboys game, it says matchup between the two top leading rushers from 2018 season. So I'm assuming, this game is, talking about Zeke most of the time. I think everything's gonna be talking about Zeke in that game, which is why I dropped the Zeke stat. So.
Yeah. That is it's tricky though because 41 is the 13th prime, but it's the 29 date too. So.
Yeah, you're right. And then I saw this one stat for the Cardinals and Lions game that I don't think most people know about is that what's the name? Kyler Murray can break the streak of rookie quarterbacks in week 1 or something like that. It's like a 14-game losing streak.
It's the game's on his 33rd day of his age. Murray's 33, Sooners is 33, Heisman's 33, Arizona's on the 33rd parallel, Lions is 33, and there's something about if the Cardinals win, they get the triangular number that's 33 for their franchise wins. Matt Stafford doesn't have a bad riddle though himself, so.
No, yeah, I saw that too, and you're right. It's a quarterback-driven league, so. But like even with now I'm looking at the Broncos and Raiders game. It says John Gruden's 2-10 career record versus the Broncos. Like I'm trying to see what I can get from that.
You said Gruden's 4-8 in his openers. Oakland's 58.
I know that's what I thought too, and I was thinking about that too. But now with AB gone, people are going to jump ship from picking Oakland, and also he can get his 100th win, 100th win of the season.
Exactly.
In the first game of the season. I mean, there's so many riddles out there for real. It's just more so you have to go with the storyline, which is what the NFL is giving you, which is why I always watch a lot of the TV shows because they're always talking about the storylines. And I knew in the Green Bay game they were talking about the 199th game. Like any post you read about that game, I mean, they kept saying the 199th, and I knew Rodgers was more so probably get his 46 away win.
46 and 45 is what he became, and Chicago's 46, Bears is 45. Or maybe did he stay on 46 losses?
Oh, it stayed on 46 losses. Yeah, you're right.
I think that's what he
did.
It
gets to the point where there's so many numbers I look at. I mean, I just, but anyway, it's so funny. Yeah, I mean, because, the 77 with, Packers and everything like that. And they said Packers are 7-1 in week 1 matchups versus the Bears since 1980. And I was telling you about how Packers coach hasn't won in week 1, and a new Packers coach hasn't won in week 1.
So you get that Bears riddle, 18.
Say that again?
You got the Bears riddle, right? 18, 1-8?
Yeah, 18, exactly, yes. I mean, and then he got his 18th all-time win, including the playoffs. Like, it was really, but what you said with the Bears and the 45 and everything like that, it was definitely making the game tough. I mean, I didn't bet on the game myself because I was respecting your riddle, but, both sides had really good riddles. But
the under was the safest bet in that game once it got to 46.5. So.
No, yeah. When they went to 46.5, I kind of figured it was going to stay under because you know how you mentioned 46 made a lot of sense.
199, 46 prime. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean you hit that on the nail. I mean, which is why I respect you, and which is why I don't always go with my my read all the time because I know you've been doing this a lot longer than me and you're a lot more experienced. But if I do see something that you miss, I feel like it's my job to let you know.
Yeah, you're doing a good job at picking up the pieces. Yeah, you are. So that's for sure.
So, but I'm gonna let you get back to the decode. Though.
All right, well, keep up the great work, man. Great work.
All right, yeah, peace.
Okay, so the Cowboys are on a 4-game winning streak versus the Giants. 4-game winning streak. If that ended, it'd be 4-1 in the last 5. Dallas is 41. And that winning streak began September 10th, 2017. September 10th. That was 104 weeks ago. When you write out 41, it's 104. So let me jot that down in the notes. Cowboys have won 4 straight. Caller?
Hey, sorry to go a little off topic, but you know what I was saying to you after the last stream about the Boston Bean Eaters from 1898?
Uh-huh.
So we'll get the Braves score. 5-1.
5-1?
Yeah, with the Braves winning. So it's the longest home winning streak for that franchise since 1898. And what was interesting about that was, so that was the 28th season for the team. They won their second NL pennant in a row, 8th overall with the franchise. So there's another 2-8 kind of thing going on. And it had that Billy Hamilton guy. And I didn't know it's still after, Billy Hamilton that's on the team now, he is 28 years old and he turns 29 in a few days.
Huh. Yeah, that's very interesting.
So that might be the NL team.
Billy Hamilton, right? That's the name of the name, Billy Hamilton?
Yeah, and he's like a Hall of Fame guy that went on to be the manager for the Red Sox when they won the first World Series, I believe.
Huh. Wild.
Yeah, so definitely something going on there.
The Yankees won 5-1 today, too.
Yeah, so maybe there's a connection because, there was that.
Remember the player who died who wrote the book earlier this year? He played for the Yankees and he finished his career with the Braves, so that's interesting.
Yep. So insane. 1898 stat. But,
yeah,
it happened.
Yeah.
All right, let's get back to it. Sorry to go off topic.
All right, that's all right. Game's not quite over, but yeah, that is interesting. Okay, so Cowboys have won 4 straight, and that's going back to September 10th. Going back to September 10th, 2017. So 104 weeks. Right out. I think that's right. If you write out 41, it's 104. Or no, it's not. What am I thinking about? Oh, it's 14 that equals 104. 14. 104 weeks ago. And the last time the Giants won was December 11th, 2016. It's a long time. 143 weeks ago. Caller?
Hey, what's going on, Zach?
What's up, man?
Hey, all right. I don't know if you've seen the commercial with Izod and Aaron Rodgers.
With what?
I did the Gematria with Izod, and it comes to 54. So I'm thinking the Packers are going to win it this year.
Izod? Is that the golf company? Izod?
It's IZOD. It's like a clothing company.
I think they're a golf company.
The what?
I think it's a golf company, Izod.
Is it?
I think so.
Okay. Well, anyways, I don't know if you want to check out that commercial. It's called Izod. It's featuring Aaron Rodgers, and so I did the gematria in that, and it's a 54, and it just happens to be a, Super Bowl 54. So it's kind of like, like not a coincidence, but it's scripted. You know what I mean? So
right.
If you want a little bit more into that.
Yeah, that's interesting. So it looks like this commercial came out last year.
Did it?
It looks like it came out on September 5th, 2018, a year to the day of their opening season win.
No way.
Yeah, looks like it. It's when it was first
dude, I'm watching a couple of college games, and that's all they've been showing. Just that commercial with Izon and Aaron Rodgers coming out, and so that I just thought it was just it was funny, And then I did the gematria, and it's up to 54. So I'm like, wow, like that should set up for them to go to the Super Bowl.
Yeah. They are just a clothing company. I know golfers wear it, so I was thinking it was golf related, but yeah, you're right. It's just a clothing company. So yeah, very interesting.
Yeah, check it out though, man. Do the gematria, yourself. Just like make sure,
Yeah, no, you're right. It's 54.
Man, I just wanted to let you know that, man.
It's 54. Yeah, very interesting. Good work.
Yeah, check out the commercial. It just came out probably like today or something. I don't know, but they've been promoting it all over CBS and ABC. So just check it out, man.
All right, I will. Appreciate it, man.
All right, man. Just wanted to let you know that. And all right, man. Have a good day. Thank you.
Take care. Okay. Izon. The other thing to say about Izon is 27. We just saw the 103 ritual with the first game. That's the 27th prime, and then 18. Bears is 18. So. Okay. All right. Cowboys on a winning streak. Yeah, I was sleeping on Peyton Manning's narrative, though. So Manning does have quite the narrative. His upcoming birthday, 117 days, could get the 117th regular season win. And if he doesn't get it this week, Buffalo Bills next week, 117. But still, man, Garrett and Prescott got narratives too. So, all right, Lions at Cardinals. So the Cardinals' next win is 561. 561 is the 33rd triangular number. Lions equals 24 and 33. I just kind of want to see what they do with Kyler Murray. But Stafford, he's 28 and 45 away for his career. If he won, he'd get the 29th win. You got the 29 date numerology. And they don't play in Phoenix. They play in Glendale. Phoenix is 46, but they're not the Phoenix Cardinals anymore either. If Stafford didn't lose, he'd stay on 75 losses. Arizona Cardinals is 75, and he'd get that 29th away win on the 29 date numerology. For Kyler Murray, it is his 33rd day of his age. Murray's 33. Heisman's 33. Sooners is 33. So, if he got the win for his team, it would fit in with that 561st franchise win. But looking at Stafford, his numbers don't look bad. So, I'm just going to sit that one out, see what they do, see if we get some sort of riddle that shows us something about the season. I didn't realize they changed the name to State Farm Stadium there. There might be something to think about with that. You know, their stadium, the Cardinal Stadium, is on the 112th meridian, which is the Super Bowl number. And that State Farm commercial with, Mahomes and Rodgers. Chiefs is 112. The 112 riddle with the death of Bart Starr. All right, but unless somebody has something great about that game. The other thing is the Lions, they could get their 29th loss versus the Cardinals on the 29 date too, so that one's just conflicted. 49ers at Bucks. The 49ers are 5-3 at the Bucs. That's what jumps out to me. With a loss, they'd be 5-4. I'm looking for those 54 riddles on the 251st day of the year, 251 the 54th prime. The 49ers are 17-6 versus the Bucs in the regular season. With a loss, they'd be 17-7, prime numbers. And, the 49ers are 5-4 versus the Bucs all time. 49ers is 55 if they fell to 5-5. So that jumps out to me. Color?
Yeah, going back to the Lions game, I couldn't really find nothing on that game either. The only thing I found on that was, Matthew Stafford has 66 wins and Kyler Murray equals 67. So he could get his 67th win.
That's a good observation. Kyler Murray equals 67. Okay.
Yeah, but other than that, I couldn't find nothing.
All right. Well, I appreciate it, man. Good observation.
All right.
All right. Thank you. I'll jot that down just so it's there. Additional information. 67 is the 19th prime. It could be the way to start 2019. And let me go back to the release of that Lion King movie. Let's just see how that lines up with this first game here. July 19th. Oops. It was a Friday. Okay. "51 days after his birthday, or his 52nd day, or 51 days after the release, or a span of 52. Yeah. I don't see how to sync with that game, so. We saw something with the last time the Lions won their division was the year before the original Lion King movie came out. So. All right, but yeah, just that game's conflicted, so I think it's a dangerous one. The 49ers of the Bucs, again, I like that the 49ers can fall to 5-4 at the Bucs and become 17-7 in the regular season, those prime numbers. If Garoppolo loses, he'd be 8-3 all-time, big football number, football 83. If he lost, he'd be 4-3 away. Football, again, is 43. And Shanahan could get the 23rd loss if there was a riddle between the QB and the quarterback. Plus, I like that Arians can get his 50th win. San Francisco's 50 in the most pure cipher. They hosted Super Bowl 50. And I should have noted that Jameis Winston equals 54. Caller?
Hey, Zach. Sorry to interrupt again, man, but so that caller was talking about that iZod commercial. There was a new one that was just released 4 days ago.
Okay.
And so I watched it, right? And it's a commercial with this guy, Colin Jost. I don't know who that is. Maybe he's a golfer or something. But so his Gematria equals 54. And then
so that's so that's the commercial. Aaron Rodgers and Colin Jones, they're both in it?
Colin Jost, Jost.
Oh, Jost. Okay.
Yeah. So then in the commercial, he's talking about a number, like Aaron Rodgers gave him a fake phone number, and he says, you gave me a number 911. And he's trying to say, if you call that, it's just an operator. And then Aaron Rodgers looks at the screen. There's something with that commercial, man. There's something in there.
Yeah. iZod and him both 54. I'm going to see how things sync up with this Colin Jost in the Super Bowl.
Who is Colin Jost? Is he a golfer?
Says he's a comedian, actor, and writer.
Oh, he's a comedian. Okay.
For Saturday Night Live. He's on SNL.
Huh. And Aaron Rodgers has done SNL too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, Saturday Night Live's 100.
Wow.
Yeah. So
I don't know, the 911, I plugged it in, it says 156 is the prime, so maybe there's some kind of connection with 156, maybe it's the opponent, maybe the opponent has 156. You know.
Say it again. What with the 156?
I said maybe the opponent of the Super Bowl has some kind of connection to 156.
Well, okay, so the Houston Texans equals 156, and remember that story from the offseason? Have you seen me cover the story about the Aaron Rodgers the guy wearing Aaron Rodgers?
Yeah.
So, how did the 156 come in? Tell me again. How did it come in again?
So in the commercial, Colin Joseph's like, hey, you gave me the wrong number. You gave me
911
as the area code.
Right. Okay, yeah, that's interesting. I'm going to have to watch this commercial. So.
Yeah. All right, man. I just want to let you know that.
All right. Thanks, man. Getting more interesting by the moment. All right, good work, you guys. So the commercial has a connection to 54 and 100. And remember, the Super Bowl's on Aaron Rodgers' 63rd day of his age. He'll be 36 years old. Aaron Rodgers is 63. So. All right. So anyway, yeah, I like that. I don't like to leave with the coach, and I don't feel like I am, but I just like that Arians can get his 50th win. San Francisco 50. He comes in with 49 versus the 49ers, right? And then I just like the 5-4 for the 49ers at the Bucks. Garoppolo might be a little bit rusty. It's been a minute since he played. So. Jameis Winston also equals 54. Maybe he has his career year this year. Again, that's the thing about things like that. It's like sometimes you fall on your number, or sometimes it's your year, it's your time, it's your number shining. All right, so the Steelers and Patriots, essentially what it comes down to for me is the 50 thing. The fact that Brady can be 5-0 versus the Steelers. So, Pittsburgh 50, Brady 50, America 50. I mean, they're the Patriots. It just seems like that's the riddle. The upset narrative for the Steelers is to become 5-6 versus the Patriots on the 56 date numerology. That's what I see there for the Steelers. The Patriots at the same time can stay on 15 losses versus the Steelers in the regular season. SNF is 15. The game's on 9/8, September 8th. Tom Brady's 98. New England Patriots is 98. Patriots is 98. So, ultimately, the stat that grabs my attention is the 5-0 versus the Steelers at home. Caller?
Yep. So, on this Patriots and Steelers game, you said you're not too hot on this game, right?
I like Brady becoming 5-0 at home versus the Steelers.
You like them 5-0 against the Steelers? Okay. Well, can I explain some of my work right now?
Of course you can.
All right. So, what I got on the Patriots and Steelers is remember earlier in the week I told you Ben Roethlisberger could get his 145th win against Bill Belichick 145 days from Bill Belichick's birthday?
I do remember that one, yeah.
Okay, to add on to that, I had looked a little deeper and I looked at the kicker. The kicker for the Steelers, it's going to be his 59th game. And Big Ben could become 5-9 against the Patriots. And, Mike Tomlin equals 59.
Right.
The kicker's birthday till the game is 177. 177 is Gillette Stadium.
Okay.
On top of that, the kicker has Gematria of 145 and 71, which Brady could get his 71st loss of all time.
Okay.
So, that's all I got for that one so far.
Well, it's also the game's 177 days after Tomlin's birthday too for one more 177.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So yeah, that is very interesting.
All I got for that, and like the all-time record, like the 17 going for the date numerology going for the Steelers, looks good. 17, 59th prime, and there's a lot of 59. Mike Tomlin is going to be the kicker's 59th game. And if the Steelers score 3 touchdowns, the kicker will have 145 extra points.
Say it one more time. What do they got to do to get it?
I say if the Steelers score 3 times, the kicker will have 145 extra points.
Well, that's very interesting.
142 right now.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
And plus, it's his 59th game. So.
Right. Yeah, those are good observations.
Yep.
All right, man. Appreciate it. But it being a QB-driven league and Brady being the face of the league, I mean, him being 5-0 versus the Steelers, just that looks like the riddle of riddles there. 5-0. So Pittsburgh 50 hits a lot. Brady is 50. America's 50. If he lost, he would be 4-1 after winning the Super Bowl at age 41. So the game's also on Brady's 37th day of his age. Patriots is 37. 37 is the 12th prime. Of course, Brady's number 12. So, caller?
Yeah, what's up, Zach? Okay, so go to the chat real quick. I'm about to post the thing I have for the Patriots and Steelers thing.
Okay, I'm there.
All right, I just posted it.
Okay, I see it.
All right, now I'm explaining to you how I see the game. Because I know, of course, you're gonna probably maybe see it a different way, besides me. But so are you on the page?
I got it up. Yep.
Okay, so I see it saying it's like I'm gonna just read from where I actually think it starts to get important. So right now it says I'm reading the part where it says the Patriots are 4-4 in home openers against Pittsburgh in the regular season. They're not just counting Gillette Stadium; they're also counting the stadium that they had before this. If you know what that means, I'm pretty sure if you're following.
Sure.
So meaning, so right when I see that, I'm thinking Patriot, 45. Which is what, New England? Is it New England that's 45 or is it Patriots that's 45?
New England's 45.
New England's 45. Okay, so that's what I see with that point. So then I go down to
what about the year though?
What do you mean? Where you looking?
What Super Bowls at the end of the season?
What you said? Well, I'm talking about it says the Patriots are 4-4 home openers against the Pittsburgh Steelers in the regular
I know.
season.
I'm saying it is true that New England's 44, but they could also become 5-4. I mean, it is that year.
No, you're absolutely right. But I mean, to be honest, I'm going off of more so what we've seen, covered in the last couple of years about how 45 always hits with the Patriots. New England.
It is a New England number. New England is 45. This is true.
Yeah, what I'm just saying is this is how I see it. So this is why I'm bringing it to your attention so I can see how you see it.
Okay.
So I'm gonna just put it in my perspective, and then you can go ahead and tell me how you see it.
Okay.
So so right now the overall record is 16-16, which is 32. So meaning this will be the 33rd game. Now, if you scroll down just a little bit to where it says, give me 1 second. If the Patriots win, could you scroll down to there?
If it says if the Patriots win.
You see where it says that?
I'm going down to. I'm trying to find it.
Okay.
Tail of the tape. Is it below tail of the tape? If the Patriots win. Okay, I found it.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna just read it off the top. It says the Patriots will improve to 5-1 in all time in season openers after winning the Super Bowl. Following a Super Bowl win, the Patriots have opened on Monday Night Football once and 3 times on Thursday Night Football. This will be their first home opener appearance on Sunday Night Football after a Super Bowl win. Okay, so the Patriots will improve their record against the Steelers on kickoff weekend to 3-1. Steelers equal 31, don't they?
It sure does. Yeah, Steelers is 31, the most pure cipher.
Okay, so the Patriots have opened against the Steelers 3 prior times in 1979, 2002, 2015, all of which were home games. I lost my spot. Their 2 wins was 2002 and 2015 came in home openers from following the Super Bowl championship seasons. The Patriots will claim their 10th win in their past 11 home openers on kickoff weekend. I think we should start decoding that word too. Kickoff game or kickoff weekend or something like that, because I keep seeing it in a lot of stories. And when I'm reading, finding this research,
kickoff weekend.
Kickoff, which is kickoff weekend, kickoff game, whichever we find, because it's always kickoff weekend though. It's always kickoff weekend. And this also will mark the team's 34th kickoff weekend win all time, meaning this is they have 33 wins right now, and this upcoming game will be the 33rd, right?
Let's see.
Yeah, so that means they could possibly stay on 33. That's just how I'm seeing it. I'm just showing you how I see it as I.
The word kickoff is 34.
Okay, see? Okay. The Patriots will take the all-time lead in the series with the Steelers' improvement to 17-16, including the postseason. I couldn't really find anything with that. But the Patriots will improve to 14 straight regular season wins at Gillette Stadium. And this is the franchise's fourth longest home streak in Patriots history. Now, what your boy was just saying in the last call, he said the Patriots will earn their 178th home victory. He was saying Gillette Stadium equals 177. They can stay on 177. Then you were mentioning about how Mike Tomlin from his birthday to this game, or last birthday, or
it's 177 days after Tomlin's birthday. It is
exactly. Yeah.
It's also his 178th day of his age, though. Is the other thing to consider.
Yeah, like I said, I'm just dropping stats for you. The Patriots will improve their record to 77-50 all time in primetime games.
So they can stay on 50. I think
that's pretty important.
Yeah, Pittsburgh 50.
And for the fact that they can stay on 50. Steelers equal 50, Pittsburgh equal 50. 77. That number is big too, because if I was looking at Football Zebras, and from the rep, I think his name is Carl Sheffers or whatever it is.
Uh-huh.
From his birthday to this game is 77 days.
Right.
But then I also see that Ben Roethlisberger is on 77 all-time losses. So, this is why I'm bringing it to your attention, because, like I said, there's a lot of notes that can go into this game.
I like that 31, though, including a 31-19 record. It's 2019 Steelers 31.
Exactly. And then it says the Patriots will improve their record to 96-1 all-time at Gillette Stadium when he leading at halftime. I really didn't get anything from that. But, that's basically it. From what I see, Oh, and then I was also looking at this other thing I was looking at. It was about give me 1 second. 33, 179. I think I did a. Okay, yes, I did. It says the Patriots will improve their record to 77-50 all time. So what I did was I took away the win, meaning so it'll be 76-50. So I added those two numbers together. And I got, it'll be 126, but this upcoming game will be the 127th, which is the 31st prime.
Right, still
right?
Is.
And they also say they can get their 31st win on Sunday Night Football. Steelers equal 31.
Right.
And then and they can, like I said, they can become 3-1 in kickoff weekend. So like I said, I really just wanted to bring it to your attention and see your perspective on the thing. I'm gonna go ahead and hang up because I've already been talking too much.
No, you haven't, man. You've done a great job. You brought a lot of really important information. So
I figured this would help you, though, and then you can see all the stadiums and everything like that, Heinz Field, stuff like that. 13-10 for Bill Belichick versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. Mike Tomlin versus New England is 3-7. I really couldn't find anything with Mike Tomlin.
Sure.
Yeah, but that's all I really have.
It is funny how you brought up to decode kickoff, and they emphasize 34th kickoff weekend, and kickoff is 34. And yeah, staying on 50 losses makes so much sense, especially with Brady becoming 5-0 at home against the Steelers, and then getting that 31st win. Steelers.
And not to mention the Steelers. This would be in the 50th season of the modern NFL. It's Steelers that equal 50, right? I'm not tripping, right?
Pittsburgh is 50. Steelers is 31.
Yeah. Pittsburgh equals 50. And if we go back to those decade wins and losses, Pittsburgh can get their 50th win to start the season. 50th loss to start the season in the 50th game. Because I also added those games up, which is
So the 50s are everywhere.
The Sunday night football game. Yeah, if you look at it for the Sunday night football game, if they were 30 and 19, that's 49, right?
Right.
30 and that's 49. So that means this upcoming primetime game, Sunday night game will be the 50th for them. Meaning they can get give Pittsburgh the 50th loss in the 50th season while giving getting it. It's a lot of numbers, but I just thought I'd bring it to everybody's attention because I know it seems like a lot of people want to bet on this game for some reason. I've just grown over the years to just not bet against the Patriots, for them winning or losing because that saved myself a lot of money and heartache. So.
Sure. All right.
Go ahead and just decode as much as you can. So that's all I have really on this game.
Yeah. It's great work. Appreciate it, man.
All right. Yeah, no problem. All right then.
So, and look at the 14 straight. The Patriots will improve to 14 straight regular season wins at Gillette Stadium. How often do we see the streaks go to 14 when they're right there? Almost always. So that 31 Steelers 31 more 50s on the board. Pittsburgh and Brady 50. Again, it being a QB-driven league. The caller before that, he had some really interesting observations, but I'm going, yeah, but how do those names stack up with Brady? And there being a Brady narrative. And can't you just see it on the screen? Brady 5-0 versus Steelers at home. You're like, yeah, there you go. Pittsburgh, Brady. Yeah, okay. Seen it before. So, that just seems to be the narrative to me. And then I think what, let me link this in there. Whoops, where do I want to put it at? Right here. Read this article for more 50. Keep in mind, Steelers equals 31. Notice Patriots going for 14th straight win at home. Oops. In regular season. Now that's something to keep in mind about the Patriots' next game at home. Who do they play next? All right. Okay. Oh, they play the Jets at home. I love it. Because what if the Jets come in and win it? Could be the Jets' year. Caller?
Yo, I'm back again.
Yeah.
But I was looking at, I don't know if it'll have no edge in the game or not, but it'll be Big Ben's 215th regular season game, and Juju Smith-Schuster, his wide receiver, equals 215.
Well, that could be a sign that he's going to have a great fantasy game.
Oh. Yeah, I looked that up, and
that's a great fantasy.
Right now has 98 made field goals. So I was thinking, if the Steelers do win and he kicks a game-winning field goal, 99 is New England.
Right. Yeah.
And then if, let's say the score is 24-21, then that's 45, and you got your Patriots 45.
Oh, New England's 45, but yeah, I hear you.
New England's 45, yeah. But, that's all I got.
Yeah, hey, if you're feeling the Steelers, man, you stick to your guns. You could be right. You made some great observations. I'm just coming back to that Brady 5-0 thing. I can't get off that one, so.
Yeah, but the funny thing about it, just a 15-second story, I was a Patriot fan until Gematria hit the work and, sports is rigged, so.
Sir. So now you're going against your Patriots. You want to see them lose.
I when my team does lose, I kind of have feelings that they're gonna screw me over.
Sure.
You know, that's just coming from my gut.
Sure.
But, you know, other than that, knowing the work and stuff, you know, opens your eyes, and really people should stop investing, you know, their money into sports.
And their energy as well, especially not their energy.
Yeah, because people get so upset and, like, literally want to fight each other over games. Like, it's sad.
They do. I was at a 49ers-Eagles game, and it was I couldn't believe it. Everybody was brawling. There were so many arrests just in my own section. Even women going out. I was like, this is the craziest thing I've ever seen, man. So.
Yes, but going back, like, when I first started following your work, it was the Panthers and the Broncos. And I remember you called it in, it was like October of that year?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was like, that's what made me wonder, and that's what made me start doing the work.
Yeah. Time flies, man.
I'll let you get back to your decode.
All right, keep up the great work. Good points.
Thanks.
All right, take care, man. Yeah, I mean, if you guys disagree with me, that's perfectly fine. I'm wrong enough to doubt me, so I just can't come off. I can't come off that 50 there. I can't come off that 50. That 50's just screaming at me. All right, Monday Night Football, Texans at the Saints. Again, Monday Night Football is typically a 33 ritual. Just to remind people what I said earlier, if you go back and look at the winning scores last year on Monday Night Football, you had a doubleheader. First game, the Jets won with 48 points. The next game, the Rams won with 33 points. Both of these numbers show up. You'll see more of 33, that's for sure. And remember, both of these numbers are important to Masonry. Masonry is 33. Freemason is 48. But there's a 33 ritual on the board in this game. Let me see if the over-under is still what it was when we did the thread. Over-under hasn't moved. Ooh, it went down to 52.5. Okay, so New Orleans is 54. Drew Brees is 54. This game's not on the 251st day of the year, the 54th prime, but still got me thinking about it. So, the game's on 9-9, September 9th. Drew Brees equals 99. If the Texans lose, they'll fall to 9-9 in season openers on 9-9. And the I actually see something in this now. Texas equals 30. I don't think Texans equals 30, but I know Texas does. Texans is 30. Texans is not. Okay, so Saints could improve to 3-0 versus the Texans at home in regular season. I don't know if that... I'll just leave it off there. It's not that important. Let me see. So this is what I like right here. Brees can get his 156th regular season win, and Houston Texans is 156. And when you write out 33, it equals 156. And again, what, did I not write down MNF is 33? Let me write that down. MNF is 33. And the riddle that could go against him is 109 is the 29th prime, and Texans equals 29. He could get his 109th loss. But again, this game's not on the 29th. Oh, you know what? This game's on the 30-date numerology. I should write that down. So this is Monday, so it has different date numerology. Monday has 30-date numerology. The Saints could become 3-0 versus the Texans at home in the regular season. So 3-0 on the 30-date. Brees has a clear riddle with the Houston Texans getting that 156th win. Again, which has the relationship with 33, which goes with MNF. His riddle to lose, I mean, it's there, but, you know, it's more abstract, and it doesn't sync up with the typical Monday Night Football tradition. O'Brien, the coach, his next all-time win is 44. Saints is 44, but again, I would never lead with a coach over a QB. In a way, I kind of did that on the opening night game, but Trubisky had the riddle and so did the team. I was just looking at the trifecta. And just remember, like, there is like a pecking order, a hierarchy of QBs in the league, obviously. You know who the names are and who the names aren't. But Deshaun Watson is an emerging star. I didn't see anything great for a Deshaun Watson win, but if he did lose, he'd be 14-9 in the regular season and 6-6 away. So he'd get his 9th loss on. Hold on. 9th loss on 9-9. But if he became 6-6 away, Texas is 66, NFL 66, and Houston Texans is 66. If he became 6-6 away, and think about how 6-6 looks like with 9-9 in light of the game being on 9-9. You know, so Breeze has a clear riddle to pick up the 156th win. It syncs with Monday Night Football. Watson makes a little bit more sense with a loss. I don't really see anything with a win. And the only riddle that could really be clear for the Texans is if O'Brien got his 44th all-time win. But again, I'm not. All-time is outside of the regular season, and that would be taking that over Breeze. Caller?
Hey, so with this game as well, I'm thinking, is there anything you see with Will Fuller, because he's coming off the torn ACL, he was 29, and then like football or something like that is also 29, and then Texas is 29.
Will Fuller. Is he their running back this year?
No, he's the wide receiver. He's the second wide receiver behind
number 15.
Hopkins.
Number 15. Okay. Let me see how many days it is from his birthday. He's born on the 106th day of the year. He's 25 years old. He's got the same birthday as Bill Belichick. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. 9-9. It's 146 days after his birthday, 147th day of his age. I guess I could run his name real quick and see what that equals.
It was interesting too. A story came out that he wanted to play all 16 games to prove to himself, and his birthday is 4/16, like 4 quarters, 16 games.
His full name equals 100 in the most pure cipher. So that's interesting. Will Fuller, 49, 59. Yeah, I don't see a great sync with this game right here in terms of his birthday. But he does have the right name for the season.
Yeah, for the opener.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Thanks for looking into it.
Yeah, thanks, man. Okay. The Broncos are a 1-point underdog at Oakland. Let's see if that's changed. Oh, the line's growing for the Raiders. So, the 33 can go a couple ways in this game. The Broncos are 52-63-2 versus the Raiders. Raiders equals 52. One of my favorite calls of all time was how I guaranteed the Raiders were going to beat. God, who was it that they beat? It was when the Raiders sucked and the team they were playing was good. But it was just like the easiest game ever to read because there were so many 52s that lined up. I don't think it was versus the Broncos. But it was back when it was a few years ago now. But if you remember the game, there was like a million penalty calls at the end of the game. They had to keep running that final play. I think it was Monday Night Football. They called so many flags. There was like 5 penalties. And then Carr ended up getting the winning touchdown pass at the end of the game, and it was his 52nd pass. The whole game just like, I'd never seen so many 52 stack on a game, but it all went in the Raiders' favor. I wish I could remember who they played. Caller?
Yes, me again, Zach. This is going to be the last time I call you. But don't forget to bring up that link I had for the Raiders and Broncos game.
Yeah, that's in the email.
Check the email because I think it definitely will help us with decoding this game. It's almost like the Pittsburgh and New England link I sent you.
All right, hold on. Where did that go? I had that up. All right, let me see. All right, Martin. There it is. Okay. All right, yeah, I got it up now.
All right, and don't forget, this is the only one narrative I see for the Texans game. I'm gonna drop a link in the chat real quick that you can see. and you can scroll down to what you want to see, when I want you to see. But when you get a chance, look at that link because it's talking about this is the 50th Monday Night Football season, and like I said, Texas will get their 50th away win, to start the season. But if they don't get it against the Saints, I'm assuming they're going to get against the Chiefs in week 6.
Okay. And, well, that could make sense because the Dallas Texans became the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, so, we could kind of predict some of the games that they're not going to win, their away wins, meaning like they could lose to the Chargers.
I don't want to overthink this game, man. If the Saints don't win, the riddle's just all right there, so...
No, you're right. And I also told you about the season openers for the Texans. They're 9-8. They can go 9-9 or 9-9.
Against Drew Brees, 99.
Yeah. So no, you're absolutely right. But that's it. I was just telling you that's the one narrative I see is the 50th win.
But you're probably right about that Chiefs because the Dallas Texans became the Kansas City Chiefs. Chiefs is 50.
Yeah. So just when you get a chance, look at that link for the Raiders game.
Is that going to be a Monday Night Football game? Texans and Chiefs.
Say that again.
Texans and Chiefs, is that a Monday Night Football game?
I have no idea. I just know it's week 6 for the Texans. I can find out. Hold on.
You said that's the 50th season of Monday Night Football?
Yeah, I posted the link in the chat so you can see what I was looking at. Because they talk about it.
Okay. Hold up. I'm just going to see week 6. It doesn't look like it's primetime. I didn't mark it as primetime. All right, let me see. All right, I see your link.
Now you can, when you do get there, just scroll down to where it says after the first picture, then after the second picture, it's under the Patriots and Steelers picture. It's going to say the 50th season of Monday Night Football kicks off on September 9th. When I read stuff like that, I just automatically think, okay, 50 is the key number. 50th season. Texans could get their 50th away, to kick off the season. But like you said,
are you saying their 50th franchise away win? Is that what the 50th win is?
You said what?
Is it the 50th franchise away win?
Yeah. Like if you go to M Squared right now, you can go to Texans, go to Series Records, and they go to Houston Texans. They can get their 50th away win for the franchise. Yeah.
Okay, that's probably all time. Let's see.
All time, yeah.
All right, hold on.
But if they don't get it against the Saints, like you said, there's a lot of numbers that line up for the Saints, and it is the Saints. But on NFL.com, the narrative they have for this game is battle of the elite duos, Watson and Hopkins versus Breeze and Thomas. So I'm pretty sure we could probably find some decodes from one of their birthdays to this upcoming game and see who has the better narrative. But yeah, go the Houston Texans.
All right.
You do it weird. For some reason, I just go to when I see NFL, I just drop down to Series Records.
I had to go back. Yeah, that's the way. No, you do it the right way. I see. They're 49 and 90 away all time. Not sure about how many of those games, if they've ever won an away game in the playoffs, though.
That'd be some good stats if you found that out.
Yeah. Yeah.
But no, that's the only narrative I have for the Texans, and I just wanted to bring that to your attention because, so you can let people know that there is a slight narrative for them.
Yeah, I'm going to point it out here.
Because if they do lose, you won't be like, I'm surprised or shocked because you'll know exactly why they lost. It's because of that. In my opinion, that's what the reason would be.
Sure. O'Brien has one thing with his all-time record. He could get his 44th all-time win. Saints is 44, but... The 33 riddles are where it's at on Monday Night Football, and that syncs up with Breeze, so...
No, like I said, I'm just bringing you to what I see. Because, you're more experienced than me, so I'm trying to see what you see so I can put it together,
Right.
Have a final decision.
Right.
All right. Don't forget to look at that Raiders, that link I sent you, because there's a lot of 33s in there that you can find.
Yeah, here, I'm punching in this note so I don't forget. 50th season of MNF. All right, and the email you sent's right here. So
It's the last email I sent you. I sent you 2 emails. The first one I didn't even put the link in. It was an accident, but the latest email I sent you should be the right one. It should have a link in there. If it has any link in there at all, then
yeah, about the Broncos and Raiders.
yeah, that's it. Yeah, you'll see it. But I mean, like I said, that they break that game down pretty thorough too. Like it takes me like hours to find these web pages and whatnot, but they're worth it when we find the right narrative. You know what I mean?
Sure. Mile High Report.
So,
all right, yeah.
Yeah. All right, then you read that when you get a chance. All right then.
Okay, here, let's go over it. Thanks, man.
All right.
Okay, so series history with the Broncos and the Raiders. Monday serves as the 118th meeting between the Broncos and Raiders. Denver's 52, 63, and 2. Remember, Raiders is 52. Away, they're 25, 34, and 0. Remember the death of Cliff Branch. Cliff Branch died 38 days before this game. Raiders is 38, Colorado's 38. He played college in Colorado. He played for the Raiders. The first game in the series, first game. Denver is appearing on Monday Night Football for a record-tying 28th season. The Broncos have played Monday Night Football every season since 1992, and it's the 74th time overall. Raiders is 74, Denver, Colorado is 74. That ties the Raiders, who did it from 1970 to 97. 97. Denver's 32, 40, and 1 in games played on Monday Night Football. Okay. So that stands out because they have a chance at 33, but so does Derek Carr. Broncos are 32, 40, and 1 on Monday Night Football. MNF is 33. Oakland is 41. 74th game. 74 and 33. They are a pairing that comes together a lot. All right. They're 8 and 28 on the road. So they lose a heck of a lot more than they win on the road on Monday Night Football. Color?
Hey, Zach.
What's up?
The game you were talking about, Oakland Raiders and Chiefs on a Monday night when they became 5-2, when Kansas City was 5-1.
Wait, say it one more time. It's a little quiet.
The game that you were talking about before the order budget just called was Oakland Raiders versus Kansas City Chiefs on a Monday night with the 6-2 rookie you were just talking about.
We're talking about the Raiders and the Broncos right now. This Monday Night Football game.
I know. I said before you said something about when they made the 6-2, but they kept making the flag. They kept calling flags.
Was it Raiders and Chiefs that game? Yeah, maybe that's who it was. Raiders and Chiefs.
Yeah, it was the Raiders and Chiefs.
Yeah.
It was the Raiders and Chiefs on Monday night.
Yeah. I remember that. I just remember the 52 ritual. There were so many 52s, and then Carr wins it on his 52nd pass of the game. So.
Yeah, because the Chiefs were 5-1. And when they lost, they became 5-2 versus the Oakland Raiders.
That's exactly. And there was a whole bunch of other 52s there, too, but just everything was 52 for that game. Yep.
Yeah, that's all I have on the Chiefs.
All right. Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
I remember that season now because the Chiefs started out 5-0, if I remember right, and I think it was like number 50 put the game away for them to improve to 5-0. Okay. The Broncos are 9-8-1 in those. Hold on. Monday serves as the 19th game between the two teams on Monday. Well, look at that. They could be 9-9-1. God, but 3. Ugh. All right, hold on. All right, hold on. Broncos are 9-8-1 versus Raiders on Monday Night Football. 9-9-8. Broncos are 2-3. What was it, at Raiders? 2-3 at Raiders. Man. All right, so we got the 33s lining up on both sides. Okay. Well, that makes things hard. So the Broncos could get their 33rd win on Monday Night Football in their 74th game. 74 and 33 do come together all the time. All right, Raiders 74, Denver, Colorado 74. You know what else is 74? Oakland, California 74. And the Broncos, man, 8 and 28. So the Broncos are 9-8-1 versus the Raiders on Monday Night Football. If they lost, they'd be 9-9-1, right? But man, that 33 is right there. They can get the 33rd win and become 3-3 at the Raiders. 2 years in a row, the Raiders would get punked. I'll just make the note. Last year, Raiders lost to Rams on Monday Night Football to start season, and they lost with 33 points. Okay. I need to look at what day these teams play each other again here. Oakland Raiders. Week 1, and then they play again. Week 17. So they play 16 weeks later. This date will have 41. Hold on. 41. Day will have 80 numerology. Okay, 3, 5, 14, 26 date numerology, 41, 53 date numerology as well. So, in light of this date having 53 numerology, I see that the Raiders could get their 53rd loss against the Broncos on that date. However, if they lost week 1, the argument could be for them to stay on 53 on the 53 date. If the Raiders lost both games this year, they would get to 54. I feel like they're going to give the Raiders some love, though, this year to get that hype going for them moving to Vegas next year. They got to sell tickets. Winners sell tickets better than losers. The Raiders only lost 1 this year. They'd be on 54 all-time losses. All right. Oh, I already have that note here. Yeah. Here, I'm going to switch where I posted this at. Okay, so Flacco, his next away loss all time is 52. Raiders is 52. His next win in the regular season is this should be away. His next away win in the regular season is 37. The game is on a 37 date numerology. His next regular season away loss is also 47, and Raiders is 47. Raiders is 38 and 47. Flacco is 4-2 versus the Raiders. 2-1 at Oakland. Oakland 22. Colorado. I forgot to put Raiders 52. He could improve to 5-2 versus the Raiders, or 4-3. Not out of the question. So that's torn. Gruden's next win is 100. And if he didn't lose, I should have wrote Gruden equals 93. Oakland Raiders equals 93. If he didn't lose his opening season game, he'd stay on 93 losses. Monday Night Football's 93, Gruden's 93, Oakland Raiders 93, and he'd get his 100th win. 100th NFL season. Could be a little tribute there. And let me see. Carr is going for his 33rd career win on MNF, so that just stands out from, his point of view. Carr is 3-2 versus Denver in games at Oakland, though. And again, MNF is 33. So he could get the 33 tribute that way. And then we did see in the all-time head-to-head that the Broncos... So, man, more 33 can play for the Broncos than the Raiders. But the 33 can go either way. So, again, Broncos could get the 33rd win on Monday Night Football all-time. They could improve to 3-3 at the Raiders on Monday Night Football. And they could make Carr 3-3 at home versus Denver. But Carr's also got a shot at that 33rd win. So, yeah, I don't know if I like that game as much. I mean, I do got... If it's all about the 33, there is a lot more there for the Broncos. It's just... I'm also factoring in the Gruden piece about how he can get his 100th win to open the season. Hold on, who did the Raiders play in week 2? They played the Chiefs. They'd have to shock the Chiefs. $10, $15, $16, $28. To date with 28 numerology 2. The Raiders are on 28 wins versus the Chiefs at home. Yeah. Well, we got more time to talk about Monday Night Football before it rolls around, but as of right now, that game looks pretty dangerous. The other narrative about the Monday night thing was that if the Broncos lost, they'd be 9-1 versus the Raiders on Monday Night Football on 9-9. But yeah, there are more 33s that stack for the Broncos. Okay. Yeah, I'd rate that one as a little bit trickier just because the 33 can go on either side. Gruden gets the W. He gets the tribute to 100. They play at the Vikings week 3. Cousins is 100. At Colts. They got a pretty tough schedule, man. Woo, then the Bears. Man, Raiders do not have a fun schedule. That is rough. The easiest game for them to win is this week 1 game. If they don't win that game, man, they could start in a real hole here. Then at the Packers, at Texans. Man, I don't know. Could they send them off to Vegas as big losers? Yeah, their schedule is not fun. That was the other thing. This last game's on a date with 53 numerology. The Raiders' next loss to the Broncos is 53. So if they didn't lose week 1. All right, let's review the games. Let's just go through it real quick one more time. The quick version. I'm going to post all these notes again. All right, I like that Mayfield can become 7-7. Baker Mayfield 77. He's facing Mariota. Mariota's 77. Mariota can't become 7-7. I like that. I like the way it's synced up with Jim Brown's birthday. I like the fact that the Browns can get their 36th regular season win against the Titans on the 36th date numerology. And the biggest scare for the Browns is Mariota could become 28-28 in the regular season. Browns is 28. But he can also get his 29th loss on a 29-date numerology in Ohio. Ohio in football are 29. So I favor the Browns. Ravens at Dolphins. Dolphins do have an upset narrative. But again, I'm really looking for the 54s on Sunday because it's the 251st day of the year, the 54th prime. If the Dolphins lose, they're 5-4 at home in the regular season. To me, that looks like 54. To me, that's probably the stronger riddle. The Dolphins upset riddle uses the all-time record, and I don't prefer the all-time in the regular season. So, the Ravens and Vikings, I don't want to touch it. I'm scared of that game. Riddles on both sides. I'll post the notes if you want to make a stab at it. Bills at Jets, I find it interesting how many experts have the Bills picked to win this game. The date numerology could go for or against the Jets in terms of the head-to-head record. Hold on, we got a caller here. Caller?
Hey, one additional piece for this Raiders game. So before the Raiders moved to Los Angeles, they played the 1981 season in Oakland, and they started that season facing the Broncos, and they lost to the Broncos in Denver.
In Denver, okay. So this time it's in Oakland.
Yeah, so it could be.
What did they do that year in Oakland? And my other question for you is, what's the name of that player for the Braves again? Billy what?
Billy Hamilton. He's actually in the game now too.
Yeah, that's really weird.
And then Robles, he hit a double and scored 2 runs at Billy Hamilton. So there's, both known for playing outfield and stealing bases.
Yeah, that's wild.
But yeah, maybe there's some with this 81 season because it would be a similar thing. They leave the following season.
Well, that was 38 years ago. 38 years ago, Raiders 38, Colorado 38.
Yeah, and of course they're playing the Colorado team. Yeah, just a perfect thing. But yeah, anyways, I just wanted to see what you thought about it.
So it was the 1981 season, 1981 Super Bowl in '82.
Yeah, they finished 7-9. Al Davis was still the general manager and owner, and Tom Flores was the head coach.
All right. So I just want to see what they did.
They won 11-5 in 1980, and then they won 7-9 in 81.
They lost both games to the Broncos that year. If they lost both to the Broncos this year, they would get to 54 regular season losses. So.
Interesting. All right. Yeah, I just want to point that out.
All right. Back to it. Yeah, good Thanks. One. All right, see you. All right, I'm going to add that to the notes. That's interesting. All right, when I get back down there, I'll plug it in. Okay, so again, Darnold can become 5-9. The opposing QB's full name equals 59. And I got a better feeling about the Jets than I do the Bills. I also like that it's 100 days after Joe Namath's birthday. He's the last QB that won a championship. I guess I should just expand on these notes for people who don't know. Darnold equals 68. Joe Namath won the Super Bowl for the Jets in the 68 season. So, yeah, this doesn't seem like any coincidence. It's 100 days after Namath's birthday. I think that's a good sign for Darnold. Okay, and Josh Allen, if he lost to the New York Jets, would be 5-7. New York Jets is 57. Redskins and Eagles. If Wentz wins his first 2 games, he'll get his 25th win. His Week 2 opponent's the Falcons. Falcons like to dish out the 25. So I think that does happen. Wentz wins Week 1 and Week 2. And there was one little... The upset narrative would be... Keenum can pick up his 29th regular season loss on the 29-date numerology. The upset narrative would have to be through Jay Gruden. He can get his 36th win in the regular season on the 36th-date numerology, but I don't put coaches ahead of QBs. That's never worked. So I think the Eagles win Week 1, Week 2. Rams, I like the Rams to beat the Panthers for 3 reasons. They can improve to 5-6 at the Panthers on a 56-date numerology. And Rivera can get his 57th loss. Rams is 57. And Newton can get his 54th regular season loss on the 251st day of the year, the 54th prime. Newton can also get his 24th home loss on 8/9/89, the 24th prime. Chiefs at Jaguars. Andy Reid. Well, all right, first of all, Jaguars are 6-6 versus Chiefs. If they lose, they'll be 6-7. Kansas City 67. The Jaguars would be 6-7 versus the Chiefs. Kansas City 67. And Jaguars would fall to 4-3 versus the Chiefs. Jacksonville's 43 in the most Pierce cipher. KC's 14. 43 is the 14th prime. Andy Reid can get his 66th win. Jacksonville Jaguars 66. And Mahomes can get his 14th regular season win. Jacksonville 43, the 14th prime. So there's a few other notes in here. I see a tribute to the Super Bowl I season with the Chiefs win, just like how the Packers had a tribute to the Super Bowl I season. So that's another part of my hunch. The upset for the Jaguars has to be through Marrone. Marrone could get his 32nd win. Kansas City 32, Chiefs 32. But again, I can't lead with the coach. Nick Foles can get his 19th regular season loss. Kansas City 67, the 19th prime. Good way to start 2019. Martin pointed out that if you don't count his Eagles time, Nick Foles is 5-7. He could improve to 6-7 outside the Eagles. Kansas City 67. But to me, it's like I'd rather look at his complete regular season stats than extract his Eagles stats. So it is interesting though. Colts and Chargers is really tight. I think the riddle's a little bit better for the Chargers. It's just, I feel like as I'm going through, I feel like I don't want to be on the side of the favorites and the home teams because that's never the way an NFL season is. There's plenty of upsets, plenty of road teams win. Colts absolutely have a narrative to win this game. It's just that it does look like things are a little bit better for the Chargers through Brissett mostly. Brissett could get his 13th loss, LA's 13, and he could fall to 1-7 away against number 17, Phillip Rivers. 17's the 7th prime, and he wears the number 7. So, the Bengals at Seahawks, a really great point was made about the all-time record. I don't like to go with the all-time record in the regular season, but man, this one's hard to ignore. If the Bengals win, they're going to be 12-9 versus the Seahawks all-time. Bengals is 129, Seahawks is 129. Either team can become 5-4 at Seattle. And so the 54 riddle could go either way there. Russell Wilson equals 54, though, and his birth city is Cincinnati. So to me, this game feels like it's a tribute to Russell Wilson. He's playing at home against the city he was born in. And that's tricky. Dalton's on 54 all-time losses, so he could stay there. But again, I'm looking at regular season before I'm looking at all-time. He could get his 51st loss in the regular season and his 29th away loss in the regular season. We have 29 date numerology, plus Seahawks and Cincinnati are both 51. And Carroll could stay at 54 losses in the regular season. Again, 251st day of the year, 54th prime. So that all-time stat, though, man, it does make it hairy. Personally, it would have me backing off this game. So that observation changed my mind about this game. I was liking the Seahawks, but now with this, I'm just going, ugh, man. I mean, because you can't deny it. I mean, it is there. I know better to look at the regular season before the all-time, but sometimes the all-time does factor in. And it was also pointed out that Zach Taylor has a very interesting alignment. Let me add that note here. Game is 121 days after Zach Taylor's birthday. Whoops. Square root of 11. And what was I going to say? Oh yeah, Zach Taylor equals 121 as well. Okay, so Zach Taylor could lead the Bengals to their 11th regular season win. Not out of the question. Giants at Cowboys. The callers got me here too on something big I overlooked. So I was initially liking that Prescott could get his 33rd regular season win. Garrett could get his 78th regular season win because New York is 33-78. And I still do like that. But there's a big one here with Manning. And this is the kind of game that would just wreck the bettors on week 1. And that's how it is. It's fixed. So even though Peyton Manning looks like he's washed up and done, he could come in for one last rodeo. If Manning wins, he'll get his 117th. He'll get his 117th regular season win 117 days before his upcoming birthday. And how old is Manning going to turn? 39? How old is he again? Is he 38 right now? 13. Get a little bit abstract when you write out 13, it equals 117. Dallas is 13. He could also get his 56th away win on the 56 date numerology and stay on 114 losses on the day, leaving 114 days left in the year. So just saying all that out loud, it's like, yeah, that's a pretty nice riddle. If Manning did pick up his 117th win, he'd go into the Buffalo Bills game on 117 wins, and Buffalo Bills is 117. So I think if Manning loses against the Cowboys, pencil him in for the W against the Bills. And hold on, we're getting a bunch of text messages. Let me see what's up here. Somebody said, great call on Milwaukee. Thank you so much. I take it the Brewers won. All right, very happy about that. Again, those division head-to-head records are good indicators. If you just stick to doing that in baseball, we've learned this year, it's probably the most consistent thing in baseball, really, the division head-to-head record. Doesn't happen every time. Like, it didn't happen in the Rays and Blue Jays game, but in those ones you got to think like, well, it's a major discrepancy, but a close, a competitive matchup, the division head-to-head records are good. Okay, so anyway, Eli Manning has taken me off liking the Cowboys. And if you're putting together multiple parlay cards today, I would get, or for tomorrow, I'd get on both sides of this game and pray for the Giants because they're a way better payout. Because you still can't say that that's going to happen for sure for Manning because there's a plenty good riddle there for the Cowboys too, the coach and the QB. But man, that Manning riddle is something else, and this is the kind of game because I mean. Here, let's just look. Let's see how the money is right now. I bet you it's huge on the Cowboys. Let's see if I can find it. We have to go to tomorrow. Why is that not coming? Oh, it's probably the acronym. All right, that's not it either. Oh, I see why. It's because it's like this. $100 on the Cowboys when the line was there. Okay. Yeah. So Vegas can clean up if the Giants win. Okay. Yeah, that was the colors outdid me on that one. And I really do encourage you guys to use your own minds because, I mean, I will miss things. Caller?
Yeah, what's going on, Zach? Man, I just wanted to call you personally, man. Great call on that Brewers game, man. That helped me out a lot, man.
Hey, I love when I help you guys. That's what I'm here to do. I feel terrible when I don't, so you're welcome, man. What was the score?
I can't thank you enough, man. Like the day you did today with all this work that you did, man. I appreciate the hard hours. I've been listening all day, man. I really appreciate the time and effort that you put in, man. I really do.
Well, you're welcome, and congratulations to sitting here for almost 12 hours. All right, man.
All right, man.
All right. Take care.
Night, man.
All right, see you. All right, cool. Yeah, that Brewers game looked like the best game of the day. Okay. Yeah, man. Ooh, God. Well, I'm glad you guys caught it with Manning because I would have went in blind to that. So, great catch. Upset narrative is there. Lions and Cardinals, I'm still not touching it. I got to see what they do with Kyler Murray. You just never know in the NFL, man. They love to shame black men. Some become the chosen ones, and some they punk hard. I'll remind you that the day that Murray was drafted, there was a player that was murdered, a Tennessee college player. He died the day of the draft, and he had like the same name Gematria as Murray. So maybe that's a sign that Murray's going to be like a chosen one. Plus he won the Heisman Trophy. He does have a really great alignment for this first game, but I still just got to wait and see because Stafford has a decent riddle to win, so I'm not going to mess with it. 49ers and Bucks, again, I'm looking for the 54 riddles. I'm going to live and die by them this weekend. If the 49ers lose, they're 5-4 at the Bucks. They're 5-4 at the Bucks. That looks like 54 to me. And I do like that Arians can get his 50th win because that number hits a lot with San Francisco. San Francisco 50. Steelers and Patriots. As much as I hate the Patriots, the NFL just can't get enough of Tom Brady. And the best riddle on the board. If you guys listened earlier, a caller called in. He had all sorts of really great observations about the Steelers. But still, to me, I can't get over this one right here. Brady becoming 5-0 versus the Steelers at home in the regular season. Brady 50, Pittsburgh 50, America 50. And in this article right here, we saw that there's some really great stats in here. There's even more 50s in here if the Patriots win. There's also some 31s if the Patriots win, and Steelers is 31. Those of you who are following in the preseason game, there was an awesome preseason riddle where like everything lined up 31 with the Steelers if they lost, and they did. So, I think the date numerology is 31 on that preseason game too. Also, we saw the Patriots were going for their 14th straight win at home in the regular season. You know, I don't go against those either. And don't forget that football is 43. The 14th prime, and that means that the Patriots could lose their next home game to the Jets. There's some things that line up there for the Jets in that one. So, and Texans and Saints, again, Texans lose. They'll be 9-9 in season openers on September 9th, 9-9. Drew Brees equals 99. Martin pointed out that Texans could get their 50th all-time away win. That might include... You'll have to look and see if the Texans ever won a postseason game. There's got to be a way to look that up. If the Texans have ever won a postseason game on the road, then I would really fade this because, again, I'm telling you, if you stick to the regular season stats in the regular season, unless I'm proven wrong in week one, but just I know historically regular season stats have always been best to use. And that goes for all of the world of sports. I still remember the opening night of the NBA. I had some good picks, and the callers phoned in. They're like, look at this with the all-time records. And then I came off my picks, and then I was mad at myself. I was like, damn it. Should have just stuck with the regular season, man. It was there. So anyway. Breeze. I love that Breeze can get his 156th win. Houston Texans is 156. When you write out 33, it's 156. It's on Monday Night Football. It's always 33 on Monday Night Football. MNF is 33. The more abstract narrative is his 109th loss. 109 is the 29th prime. Texans is 29. Remember, this game's not on the 29 date numerology. This game's on a 30 date numerology, and if the Saints win, they'll be 3-0 versus the Texans at home on the 30 date. Okay? 3-0 on the 30 date. If Watson loses, he's 6-6 away, which makes sense. You know what else? Oh, I did have it here. When you write out 33, it equals 66. Texas is 66, NFL 66, Houston Texans is 66. 66, the 11th triangular number. And then this Broncos at Raiders game, I got to fade this game. There is more 33 that stacks for the Broncos, but Derek Carr can get his 33rd win. Here, again, let's just review the 33s here. So, if the Raiders win, Gruden will get his 100th win in the regular season. Seemed like a great tribute for the 100th NFL season. He'd stay on 93 losses. Gruden equals 93. Oakland Raiders equals 93. Monday Night Football equals 93. Think about how he used to do Monday Night Football. If the Raiders win, the Broncos will stay on 52 wins. The next game in Week 17 is on a date with 53 numerology. So if the Broncos didn't win this game, they'd stay on 52, and then they could pick up 53 on the 53 date in Week 17. Now, we just had the caller phone in and talk about how the year before the Raiders moved to Los Angeles, they lost both games to the Broncos that year. This is the year before they moved to Vegas. If you guys didn't know the rap group, the Loonies, they're known for that song 5 on It. They have a song from over a decade ago about the Raiders, and in the lyrics of that song, they talk about how the Raiders are going to Vegas. So, I mean, it just goes to show you, man, I guarantee the Loonies aren't psychics. But they do work for the chosen ones, the record industry, and I bet you anything they told them to make a song saying that way in advance. Anyway, okay, so Derek Carr can get his 33rd win on Monday Night Football. Gruden can get his 100th win, but Martin pulled up a great article here. Broncos could get the 33rd win on Monday Night Football, and what sucks is 3 years ago when I did this, primetime games were so easy because there were great databases online for the primetime records, and they screwed them all up. They stopped updating them. They got rid of them. And I really do think that they stopped doing it because of this work. Because we were murdering primetime, and I was just putting that information out there for free. It was like, holy shit, this guy calls every primetime game right. But now that information's missing, it's way harder. So, anyway, Broncos, they can get the 33rd win on Monday Night Football. It's the 74th game. 33 and 74 comes together all the time. And Raiders equals 74, Denver, Colorado 74, Oakland, California 74. They could also get the 41st loss. Oakland's 41. The 33 could still play in favor of Derek Carr. If the Broncos did lose, they'd be 9-1 versus the Raiders on Monday Night Football on the 9-9 date. If the Broncos won, though, they'd be 3-3 at the Raiders. And if Derek Carr loses, he'll be 3-3 at home versus the Raiders. So there are way more 33s that line up for the Broncos on this. It's just that Derek Carr can get his 33rd regular season win, and that could be all it takes. So I just think it makes it a little bit dangerous. Somebody put a gun to my head and said pick a game, I'd say shoot me. So I don't like this game because the 33s are both ways. Oh, yeah, but just looking at Oakland's schedule, man, if they do not win this first game, I'm not sure where they're going to get that 100th win. Their schedule looks tough. It does not look fun. So, unless the Raiders are just going to come out and just take the league by storm, I don't know. I feel like the NFL would want them to win. They got to sell those tickets next year in Vegas, that big-ass stadium they are building, so... Okay, my lady's telling me to get off the computer. So anyway, I am going to update the notes and clarify which games that I got more gun shy on. I didn't change any picks that I liked except for the ones that I'm going to come off of. So if you read the notes from yesterday, I'm gonna make, and again, the games that I like less now are the Seahawks and the Cowboys, and everything else I'm sticking with the thoughts from last night. So. We'll leave it there. We've been online for 11 hours minus about a 30-minute break. And great work, everybody. Appreciate the links that Martin picked up here. So we'll leave it there. Magic Mushroom says his upset games he sees could be Panthers, Falcons, Giants. Giants and Falcons wouldn't surprise me. The Panthers would, man, just because quite a few things stacked against the Panthers. I didn't really see much of a narrative for them to win. We'll see if I eat my words, but... All right, we got another caller here. Caller?
Hey, I was looking into that Billy Hamilton thing just a little bit more, and then I noticed the middle name. So the guy from the 1898 team, because they did win tonight, he was Billy Robert Hamilton, so Billy R. Hamilton. And I can't find the current Billy Hamilton's middle name, but his middle initial is R.
Let me see.
So that's definitely not a coincidence then. So they might be the NL team.
I'm going to go back and look at that story. Okay, they won at 5-4. Teheran got 77, man. 77 in D.C., so I guess it matters even outside of Washington.
But people are just saying now it's like a new franchise record because they don't go back to the Boston Bean Eaters. But with that, it's like a perfect sync. So in the 1898 team, they won the NL.
Yeah. It's again, you know the story I'm talking about with the death of the guy who wrote the book?
Not remembering his name right now, but
go back and revisit that story because he played for the Yankees and the Braves. So.
All right, I'll look into it tonight.
All right, man.
All right,
good work. Yeah, see you. All right, Astros beat the Mariners. Phillies put it on the Mets. Phillies still got a shot too, man. I'm not. It's not over for the Phillies until it's over. They've gotten riddles all year. Twins beat the Indians, and Brewers beat the Cubbies. Good. Angels over White Sox. Orioles didn't win, huh? Cardinals beat the Pirates. Yeah, we thought so with the Wainwright thing. Royals, Marlins 2-7. Both teams 27. All right. Blue Jays. Blue Jays got the date numerology tomorrow. Okay. Giants are leading the Dodgers right now. Interesting. A's over Tigers. Padres look good against the Rockies. Okay. All right. Texas is losing to LSU. Here, I want to just run through some games we looked at today before we wrap it up. Game was tight. Auburn won by 18. What was the spread? 17.5, so they covered. Won by 18. Okay. Remember that Oregon had that great riddle to beat Nevada this week. We saw that. Murdered them. I think Ducks is 77. Yep, Ducks 77. 77 points. And again, like Martin said earlier, he still can't figure out which of these ciphers is the most important. Again, they're all important. You want to look at all of them, but if push came to shove, this one right here, the most pure cipher, just like the other day when we were talking about how the Marlins could get the 50th win against Pittsburgh, Pittsburgh's 50, or they could get the 47th loss, and Pirates is 47. And like I said, that more pure cipher is Pittsburgh 50. So, but they're all important, that's for sure. Clemson beat Texas A&M. Alabama win above the 55. Wrong about that. I thought they might, since the 55 date numerology. Okay. Some slaughters out there. Maryland, we got to look into this Maryland's team, how they had that first game synced up with the death of that player last year. Colorado rallied and beat Nebraska after being down 17-0. That's how both QBs lined up with the birthday for the opponent. Like I said, this has the makings of a special game. Anytime you see that where like both QBs line up with a team, you know that game's going to be special. So, and this was definitely a special game, a 17-point comeback to win 34-31. Boise State played Marshall tough. They didn't cover that spread. Texas has a chance, but yeah, that one was tough. Okay. All right, we'll wrap it up there, you guys. Good luck. I'm going to update the notes. They'll be up at the top of the Patreon page. If you weren't catching what the last caller was talking about, he was saying how there's a Billy Hamilton back in the day on the Braves when they won 13 home games in a row. And then they won 13 home games in a row. And this Billy Hamilton from the old Braves team's like 100 years ago. So there's something going on with that. His birthday's in 2 days. All right, guys, have a good rest of your day. Yeah, of course, Martin, keep up the great work, man. Keep up the great work, everybody. All right, we'll leave it there. Until next time.